Hey, everybody, welcome back. It's You Got to Try This podcast with myself, Large, Ian behind the ones and twos. And today we have a special guest. Her name is Ayesha Nurdjaja, and she's wonderful. So she was introduced to me, not face-to-face, the first time I'll be meeting her, by Joe Isidori. He said, this woman is just absolutely fantastic. Winds up that we're from around the same neighborhood in Brooklyn. And she owns a couple of great restaurants here in New York. Shuka and Shukette has a cookbook coming up. She's just engaging. So I love her. The reason I know that I love her is because we taped the interview right before we're doing this. Kind of do it ass backwards every now and again just to see what we get. And I had a great conversation. So stay tuned for that. Happy belated 4th of July to those who celebrate. I was on a warship. Did I tell you that? Yeah. So I was offered a chance, myself and my wife. We had shown up at some heliport at 4:30 in the morning, jumped on a military chopper, maybe a Huey, I have no idea, full like military like helmets and shit. We take off from a chopper at 4:30 in the morning. We fly for a chopper, for helo, they were calling it, by the way. We jumped on the helo and we went an hour and a half out into the Atlantic Ocean. An hour and a half on a helicopter that has no windows is a long time at 4:30 in the morning. We landed on the deck of the USS Arlington and at 6 a.m. And Annie and I had spent time with Marines and sailors, Navy men and women, and as they piloted this giant warship, active warship, into New York Harbor. We were on there, I think we were there from 6 a.m. We didn't get through the Verrazano till about 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So we were on the boat for like 15 hours. Got to see everything from soup to nuts. Got to eat a couple of meals inside the brig, or not the brig, the mess hall. And so we put out a little thing on it. It was fantastic. I couldn't think of a better way to celebrate the 4th of July. How was yours? Where were you out? Were you out east?
I was out east.
Okay.
In West Hampton.
Okay.
Which is technically not out east, but that's a Long Island debate for another day.
Right. By the way, either of those are on Long Island. They're not in Long Island. I've learned my lesson. But good times?
Yeah. When you sent me the footage of you getting in the chopper, I thought it was going to be scenes of you on the racetrack when you couldn't fit into the car. It looked like it took a Herculean effort to get you in that helo.
It wasn't close. Like the life preserver, which goes around it wasn't very big of a life preserver. It sort of almost looks like a question mark. To get that belt around me, one of the people who was there from the press, because there was a crew there from ABC News, there was a 2-man operation, me and Annie there from Barstool Sports, and that's it. That was it. And so they put this thing, I couldn't get it around me without like really having to close it. The guy had to ask for an extension, but he was a big fat guy. I was like, I can't do it. I'll just be like this. I could barely breathe on the helicopter. But again, it was nice. I was there with Captain Sean Spicer, who used to be the press secretary for Trump in his first thing, go around. I'd met this colonel in the Marines who was legitimately one of the most impressive, terrifying guys I've ever met. You realize just how weak you are when you're around that many people who are, I don't know, they're fine-tuned machine moving this thing through. I mean, we got to see everything. PT, we were on a hovercraft. We did everything. It really was a pleasure. So shout out to the U.S. Navy for hooking that up for my wife and I. And maybe we'll come back next year.
And I think you were about to ask me, like, what did I eat anything nice while I was out east?
Yeah, did you get anything? I didn't get anything nice on the boat. Like, it's not that great. I was there for Taco Tuesday. All the sailors were like, "Oh, you're so lucky." I was like, but it wasn't that good. But did you kill it out there?
Oh, well, you know me and my grilled cheeses.
Yeah.
The best grilled cheese on planet Earth, you'll find it at Bun and Burger in West Hampton Beach. Cash only. They cooked the grilled cheese where bacon used to be cooked, just like Gornishelli said.
Yeah.
And I had 3 to 4 grilled cheese sandwiches every morning, as in 6 to 8 slices of grilled cheese every morning while I was there.
Good for you. Pretzel belly.
I put on like legitimately 12 pounds.
Did you? Okay. Yeah. Well, that makes sense, right? Like, yeah. Summer bodies are ruined in the summer. This is a good time as any to tell you guys we thrive on positivity. So I think that's true. I just said that kind of flippantly, but I don't put out bad reviews. I'll sometimes shit on things here, but I don't put out bad reviews. And so when that positivity comes back, we love it. How does that come back to us? Likes, subscriptions, even like comments where we're just kind of shooting the shit. So please continue to do that. Obviously, drop in a question with any kind of 5-star review that you give us wherever you watch these things. Subscribing to YouTube just takes a second. I don't really know who I've subscribed to on YouTube, but I have a bunch of people I'm subscribed to. It would mean the world to me if you guys would do that. And again, send in a question if you have one, and I'll be glad to help out. Do we have a question today while we're here?
Yes, we do. This is from Roventini Rant, which is, I don't know if that's a play on something, but
I don't know either.
Best yard setup, he says. And then thank you for the 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. Large. Having some of my friends over for a day in the yard. We typically have some food, drinks, and cigars. Outside of the basic beers and steaks, what would you include in the menu for this kind of day?
Yeah, so that's easy for me. He says he's having some friends over. I was about to say he's having the boys over because sometimes it works out a little bit better, but I'm being slightly sexist. It's lamb chops. Baby lamb chops. Don't get them Frenched. Like Frenching is when they take the piano wire and they run it down the bone itself so you have like a clean bone. I personally love the gristle on a grilled lamb chop. You get yourself a shit ton of lamb chops. Get a bunch of aprons of lamb chops. You can cut them yourselves if you want. Otherwise, have them cut into chops. You can go to like a Stop and Shop and get them in the styrofoam with the cellophane over it. I don't care. New Zealand, grass-fed, U.S. grain-fed. I personally like grain-fed lamb chops. I don't mind them there. And it's more approachable for people who are like, ooh, they're too gamey. Be like, no, try this one out. You hit that thing with salt. That's it. If you want to go around and dip rosemary in olive oil and beat it while you're on, or, slice of garlic afterwards, or rubbing it with garlic, or even like black pepper, do whatever the fuck you want. Salt on a lamb chop, room temperature, whack it onto a grill. Expect that fat to render and hit those coals or hit that flame, and you're going to get some flare-ups. And flare-ups are good because those lamb chops are not there for a long time. They're there for a good time. And you can go anywhere from medium rare to medium, and people don't care. Like only Hannibal Lecter wants a very bloody lamb chop. You can get away with medium rare with most people. And if you put it up there to medium, you're totally fine. And the best part about it, you just grab those things. Like I grab 4 at a time like I'm Wolverine, and you can kind of just pop them in. I put that out there as a backyard barbecue thing for with the guys in Chicago, and I got dragged for it. And I stand my ground on it every time I go to somebody's barbecue. And we went to a barbecue. My brother was like, oh, I'm bringing some ribs. I'm going to do it. I was like, oh, I'll bring some lamb chops. Get yourself 30 or 40 lamb chops. It's a splurge, but it looks like you're going to be splurging that day. And I just think that it's a perfect thing to throw on the grill just to eat while you're having a nice, glass of red, a big old stogie. This is after the sun goes down, right? So it's a little bit cooler. Invite me over. I'll be there. Yeah, lamb chops.
And maybe leave a little tray of cookies out in the sun. That's
Ian's move. So Ian, when I think I've mentioned this before, in at a track, where were we? Nashville or something?
Was it Talladega?
Talladega? Was it Talladega? And the place that we were at was outdoors, this tent to watch the race. And so they had chocolate chip cookies, and they were out in the sun forever, covered by a tent. I shouldn't say out in the sun, but they were out in the heat. And Ian went and grabbed one. I was like, ooh, they've been out for a while. He's like, I know. And he was right. They were like warm. I took one and pulled apart. It had like that little cheese pull, but with the chocolate. I don't like to give you too much credit, but you kind of nailed it on that one.
You're rubbing off on me. I'm coming up with rules for tacos.
You are. Yeah, you absolutely are.
We got guests naming grilled cheese left and right.
Yeah. I will tell you, the Pringles thing, do you mind me mentioning that real quick? I just seen this. Pringles announced a limited edition hot dog buns. I believe they're sold one at a time inside a Pringles can. So you can go and get in a Pringles can, and there's like 3 different flavors. I think a sour cream and onion, some sort of cheddar iteration, perhaps a barbecue one. And you pop open the can, out comes this gigantic seasoned hot dog bun that you would need like a Windmill, Frank, for people who are familiar with the Jersey Dogs, the Windmill brand. They're huge. You pop one of those on. I think that these things are going to sell like fucking hotcakes. I think they're overpriced and they're probably terrible, but it's a good way to kind of keep themselves in front of the public eye. So Pringles gets a thumbs up from me. I'm probably not going to try it, but there's going to be 1,000 idiots who are putting themselves on waiting lists just to get a fucking hot dog bun for $7. God bless them. I really don't care. What else? Do we need to speak about anything? Oh yeah. I would tell you right now, I'm just going to get to the interview if that's okay with you guys. Please try this woman's restaurant. You're saying, but Large, you haven't been there yet. I could tell you she brought food. As soon as she left, I finished the food on my own. So her Kung Fu strong. I find her to be extremely, extremely friendly and easy to talk to. And I'm probably going to consider her a friend from now on out. It's Ayesha Nurdjaja, and this interview is brought to you by Pepsi. Pepsi Zero Sugar, which is what I have right here, the best tasting zero sugar cola, is preferred by nearly 2/3 of Americans in a nationwide blind taste test. There's no fooling when you get those nationwide blind taste tests. Right? There's nowhere you can hide. If you think you don't like something, then you choose it. There's nowhere you can hide. So specifically what I'm going to say here, for soccer fans gathering around food, because that's what I did on the week off. We were watching so much goddamn World Cup. Pepsi is the match day beverage that brings out the best in every bite. Watching soccer and eating food is delicious, but when you have it with Pepsi, it's like your team scoring a last-minute game winner. It just tastes better. So, soccer deserves Pepsi. Food deserves Pepsi. Go watch some soccer, get yourself some delicious snacks, and you will be pleasantly surprised with how well Pepsi makes that experience even better. And with that, let's go to Ayesha. Hey, everybody. So as promised, I'm sitting here with somebody. So when you want to get to know who somebody is, a lot of times you Google them. And so if you're going to Google Ayesha Nurdjaja, I think the best place to do it for a short description is IMDb. Ayesha Nurdjaja was born on November 1st in New York City, New York, USA. She's an actress. That's all it says on IMDb. And it says known for Food Network's Top 10, House of Spoils, and Bobby's Triple Threat.
Wow.
So on IMDb, as far as they're concerned, you haven't done a thing in the kitchen. You are Julia Roberts.
I love that.
Yeah.
I need to be on the red carpet. I think you're going to give me the credit and invite me to the party.
But for everybody else, if you were to just do a shallow dive on Ayesha, you would see that she is a decorated chef, a business owner, TV personality. And the way that I got your number, because I do a lot of going out and getting the guests myself. The talent bookers here at Barstool are very good, but sometimes it's food dedicated people I try to go for. So it's just easier to reach out on DMs. And Joe Isidori was the guy who gave me your number. And when I spoke to Joe twice, we did something at his restaurant and I did another interview with him. He's always been singing your praises. So no pressure, but I hope you come through.
Listen, I sure will. I love Joe, and thank you, Joe. I always say, like, my brother from another mother. You ever meet somebody and you're like, bro. Yeah. We were definitely in the same time zone in a different place.
Yeah, he's a lot in a good way. Like he's like not overbearing, but like loud and boisterous, and the type of person that if you're sitting at a table that's rectangular, you kind of want him in the center. Yeah. Just, to kind of, I don't know, start to kind of met out the conversations and whatnot. So I enjoyed Joe and I enjoyed his restaurant. And then I mentioned to a couple of guys here on the floor that you're coming, and particularly Devlin and then Bobby Singh also, and they love the restaurant. So Shuka was the first. And then Shukette, would you say is the bigger of the two now? Like, how do you rank that?
I kind of equate them to, I don't have any kids, but I am a sibling. Mm-hmm. So I say that Shuka's the firstborn. She's going to be 9 in September. And she gets straight A's. She comes home on time. Right. She's good. And Shukette, which just turned 5 this week.
Is a whore.
Is definitely a whore. She goes out on a Saturday night and comes home on a Wednesday with someone else's car and someone else's outfit. Okay.
Yeah. That sounds very familiar to me. So Shuka and Shukette, on top of all that, the Triple Threat, Bobby's Triple Threat, is entering into a new season. You're one of the 3, not threats, you're one of the 3 titans on that. And when does that start?
The end of August, I believe, or beginning of September.
And that's going to be on Food Network. And I think Food Network also shows all their stuff on HBO Max now. Yes. If you need to catch that, because I watch Beat Bobby Flay I was going to say when I'm on the walking pad, but I did that for about 6 weeks before I gave up on it. But beat Bobby Flay so you can catch all that stuff. So it's Ayesha. She's here with us and she came bearing gifts. So Shuka and Shukette they're both Mediterranean restaurants, but they have a rip and dip personality. So warm, soft, different types of flatbreads, and then a bunch of homemade dips. It's made for people who don't hate the person who's at the table with them. If you're one of those assholes who says, oh, you double dip or something like that, or if you're watching somebody make a sandwich for themselves at home and you comment on the fact that they're not wearing gloves, don't fucking go, right? Isn't
that show up?
Yeah, it just doesn't make sense. The
glove thing incenses me.
Absolutely. It's the stupidest thing in the world.
I'm not cooking for you.
Yeah,
I'm in my house by myself.
It's masturbating with a condom on. So, and then she also has what a segue.
Well, could that be fun though? I mean, I don't know. I don't have experience in that.
You know what?
Could it be like a second skin situation where you're like, someone else's touch?
I can tell you the dozen or so times I've tried. Mediterranean All the Way is the new cookbook. It comes out on October 20th. Mediterranean All the Way sounds like it's pretty self-descriptive, right? And we're going to get a lot of stuff like what we have sitting around here. But at the end of the day, it's a pleasure having you here. Where did you grow up?
Gravesend, Brooklyn.
Where exactly is Gravesend, Brooklyn?
So Gravesend's kind of in between Bensonhurst and Coney Island. It's the F&N train to Avenue U. Prior to buying my house 4 years ago, I was born and raised in a 3-block radius, and now it's an 11-block radius, and I'm so proud.
So where do you live?
In Gravesend.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So I used to take the B31 out of Gerritsen Beach every day to East 16th Street and Avenue U.
Okay.
And then go to school on the Lower East Side. My mom and dad are still in Gerritsen Beach.
Are they?
So they're right on Whitney Avenue across the street from Resurrection Church.
That's crazy.
So whenever I go to visit, I was only kidding around on Where's Gravesend. Whenever I go to visit my mom and dad, I have those two options. I can go the Bell Parkway or I can go Ocean Parkway through Gravesend and then over. You know where I went a couple of weeks ago? Bassett's. Do you remember Bassett's? It was like a catering place.
They used to, like when somebody dies, you order from Bassett's.
That's exactly it. And so the only time I've ever been to Bassett's is like a last minute catering job, right? And so I went with my brother. We were over there visiting my parents and we just went. I was like, let's go check out the steam table there. I had a great fucking meal, the same thing.
I think they're known for their roast pork, right?
Their roast pork. They do the Chinese roast pork. They also, so like most steam tables, they have these blue plate specials for all intents and purposes where they're just carving hams. They're making meatloafs, a chicken parm here and the whole deal. And it's kind of tough to get to. It's like one of those things where the train kind of screws you up so you can't go all the way down Avenue Y or something like that. But it's a great thing. So in and around that area, Gravesend, like I dated a girl who used to live on Voorhees Avenue. Yeah. So that's more Sheepshead Bay. So as you start to get towards Gravesend, that's where my wife's family grew up on Neck Road and 15th Street.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, so kind of right there. Yeah, sure. Yeah. So it's a great neighborhood.
I think so.
And that's where I grew up, too. So I think that it's one of the things, it's sneaky the way I found out like high-end dining and going off the beaten path once I started working and I had a corporate card when I was on Wall Street. But it was that background of living in South Brooklyn that I think really set the table for me. Would you agree? And what was it like growing up for you in South Brooklyn?
I love that you said South Brooklyn because I think that people that live in Cobble Hill think they're South Brooklyn.
They're not.
And I say that we're the OGs. And look at a map. Thank you so much. It was a neighborhood full of families. And that was the truth. I think primarily in Gravesend it was Italian American.
Yes.
We did have other ethnicities. And obviously now like the neighborhood has changed. But, I grew up on a block with 15 other families that had kids our age. And we were outside from day and night, hanging out, riding bikes, playing Skelly, stickball.
Skelly.
We used to go on the beach. Do you know what Skelly? Do you know the game?
But have I melted down crayons to put inside? Do you know what Skelly is?
No.
So you got to take the bottle caps of like soda, right? Or even beer, whatever was around. And then you would melt down crayons and you would build kind of like this grid that had numbers on it. And they were like, kind of like when you play 8-ball on the pool table, it's like an octagon situation. And there's like numbers there and you'd have to go from 1 to 16.
Yeah.
And there was a start line and then you used to flick this bottle cap and then your colors of the crayon, sometimes it would be a solid color or you would mix colors and you'd scratch the bottom so it had some
so a little bit of texture to it and so you get some grip. So whenever they would build a new playground in Brooklyn, I guess all around New York City, I shouldn't say it's just a Brooklyn thing. You'd have your monkey bars, your swings, your handball courts, a couple of checkerboards, but somewhere along the way, they always kind of, like the Parks Department would put out a skelly thing on the bottom. So you'd be sitting there shooting your skelly, and then you'd win bottle caps, I believe. So it was like one of those things. I everything about growing up in Brooklyn puts a smile on my face.
Yeah.
Like nobody ever mentions, I don't know what to mention bad. Like if you mention the worst hurricane, what was Sandy when it hit? I just remember a beer truck had kind of come off its moorings in Coney Island and it floated into Gerritsen Beach where I grew up, which is primarily Irish. And it was like, manna from heaven. And we all just kind of ravaged the whole thing. Everything about Brooklyn kind of agrees with me.
During Sandy, I actually made, I think, like 15 turkeys and 15 trays of lasagna and brought them to Gerritsen Beach.
Did you really?
Yeah, I had a friend that lived there and we were in culinary school together. And we were like, how could we help right now? And the two things that we thought were awesome. And then we took some to the Red Cross in Coney Island, and they shunned us away because they were only taking canned items. And I was like, bro, Gerritsen has it. They know what they're doing.
Absolutely. Go down to Court Club or whatever, you drop it off. I remember because they got hit they got hit as bad as Breezy Point. Mm-hmm. Well, like a lot of people in Breezy Point and Rockaway got the headlines because it's just a bigger community. But where I grew up, I could see Breezy Point from my house. It was a little body of water in between myself and Breezy Point that nobody ever swam in. And it just crushed everybody's house. The further you were down to the point, the more water you had in your basement, and everybody was really fucked.
Bro, you've been to Kitty Beach?
Absolutely been to Kitty.
How many birthdays have you had at Kitty Beach?
My brother lives in Bay Ridge with his 3 kids. They have a membership at Kitty Beach.
I'm dying.
Still, Kitty Beach is still one of those things. And again, like coming to Gerritsen Beach, it's almost just an inlet. And somewhere in the old section, you can go and there's a little plot of beach that everyone goes to with a great snack shack. For New York City, we had a lot of places to swim.
Yep.
Manhattan Beach, Coney Island, if you wanted to, obviously going across to Breezy and Rockaway. But I don't know if people consider it a beach community, but it really was.
No, it was.
Yeah. So growing up, were you a subway girl? When did you get your driver's license? I'm just trying to get some feel for you.
14.
14?
Well, that's what I told my dad, but it really was 16.
Right.
And I told him, well, my parents were divorced. So I was like, Dad, listen, because I went to Catholic school, I went to Bishop Kearney. I was like, you pay for the tuition to get a license 2 years earlier. And he was like, all right, cool. So I was literally in a sophomore driving around with the top down in November with like 14 girls in the car driving up 65th Street.
It's fantastic. I was a florist. We're not going to talk about food. I was a florist right next to Bishop Kearney, and I was young at the time. I was below high school. I was just delivering on my bike. And when the girls would get out, I would make little floral things and give it to the girls coming by in the skirts.
Aww.
Yeah, it didn't work too well, but still, it was just something that I kind of put out there. Yeah, I wound up getting married. But none of those girls called me, to be quite honest with you. Let's talk about food. So Shuka and Shukette are your babies. You've been involved with a bunch of other heavy hitters throughout your career. Is there something that you can say right off the bat about owning a restaurant in New York? I tend to lead with this because Joe was one of those guys who had started and said, Large, as much as I love New York, I see a lot of people moving down to Jupiter, Florida. My father had seen like the migration even north. So he kind of opened up places like that. You're a native New Yorker, born and bred. Is there a chance that you're like, I don't know what this is going to be like in the next 5 or 10 years. Perhaps my next project's going to be somewhere else.
Hell no.
No.
I know. If you could make it here, you can make it anywhere.
Okay.
And I think that this is just my home. It's the market that I know the best. I think that there's a level of authenticity to me. I feel like if you put Joe in Jupiter, he'll survive. Put me in Jupiter, I might end up on Mars. Like I don't know if there's a spot for me. I might need subtitles. My accent might be too much for them, and they'll cling on to me, and I'm not down with all that. I think there's something that I just love about the Temple of New York. When you come here, it's kind of hard to go to other places, even like when you vacation. Like you've ever been to the Dominican Republic and you go to the all-inclusive and you're like, why is time stopped? Like how long does it take you to make my omelet? Can I get back there and do it in 2 seconds because I want to get on the beach?
Yes.
So I feel like the New York thing is just, I don't know, like it's just like Gravesend. I'm not going anywhere. I might hopefully be successful and my acting career blows up.
Yeah.
I can get a second or third residence or travel, but I feel like Gravesend's my home and New York is where I want to do business.
Is there any kind of premium to open up someplace in Brooklyn?
I think I'll never come to Shuka and Shukette if that's the case.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
The commute would be like, come on, give me a break.
So what were the local spots around you growing up that you had gone to? Even some of them that might not be around today?
Local spots were La Polina, Michael's of Brooklyn.
Yes.
L&B.
By the way, I went to Michael's of Brooklyn 2 weeks ago. Yeah. I had a pork chop oreganata. And I don't know, like it sounds great, whatever. They brought it out, potato, vegetable, and a side of applesauce. I'm telling you, it's one of the best. My mouth's watering.
I know.
It's one of the best pork chops I've ever had.
And I go there, like that's my spot. I don't even get a check. Like I pay my bill at the end of the month. I am so annoyed by them because I feel like they should change it to Ayesha's because that's my favorite restaurant. No, They treat me very well, but I think that if you go there and you don't like it, there's something wrong with you. Right. It's the most consistent place. That menu is old school, right? It's like 3 pages. It's a leather bound book that you could really like knock someone out if you really wanted to.
Right.
Anything on those pages is delicious. Yeah. I have my favorites for sure. But look, 2 weeks ago, a pork chop oreganata and still in your head. That's like the dream, right?
I'm going to go back tomorrow. Like I remember growing up, we used to go to Fiorentina's a while.
Fiorentina's was always the spot we went to when somebody died.
Get out of here. So I only visit places that you have around death. Yeah. They did a chicken Fiorentino with artichoke hearts and black olives. It was one of my favorite dishes growing up. I don't even know if it's still there anymore.
No.
Gargiulos. Weddings.
I had my 30th birthday there.
Get out of here.
It was a wedding without the groom.
Yeah.
Super fun. Gargiulos is old school. I have to be honest. I don't eat there often. Yeah. Have I been to like more than 100 parties there? 100%.
Right.
Yeah.
Brennan Carr,
Roller Roaster,
Randazzo's
for sure.
Joseph Avenue.
Joseph Avenue, Panella Special.
Yeah, Totono's.
You know what's really good? Their regular salad. Have you ever had it? The tricolor salad?
No.
Yeah.
Really?
It's like radicchio, iceberg lettuce, and like another, like maybe a chicory.
Really?
And it's got this really pungent vinegary sauce, and they serve it to you like in the half pint.
Really?
Bananas.
I have to go back. I actually took Ian there. I don't know if you remember going there. It was very like young into our relationship. Ian's been my producer now for
you did the wine-a-corn.
I did the wine-a-corn inside there too. You've never seen a Pinelli sandwich before that. We call them Pinells for some reason. I know people have their own way.
Pinells?
Pinell. Yeah. I don't know why the hell I called it.
I heard it with an R, like Parnell.
Yeah. And then right across the street was Carvel, so I'd go get a Pinell and I go get my Carvel.
Carvel's closed.
Yes.
I live 2 blocks from there. But the OG Carvel is the one on Coney Island Avenue and Avenue Z.
Right. With the, it looks like almost like an old school.
Dairy Queen.
Yeah. And it has like an Airstream look to it. You're saying Coney Island Avenue, you said?
Yep.
Yeah. And that place is still one of the best Carvels I've ever been to.
Ever.
Yeah.
Gold Mine. Cookie Puss. Like all the OGs are there.
Fudgy the Whale.
Yeah. And the Bonnet is the sleeper.
Yes, the Bonnet. Yeah. My brother and I used to go to Drunk. I don't know what the diner was on like Coney Island Avenue. We'd go like 3:00 in the morning. Some people would get breakfast.
Hold on.
It was something like that.
Oh my God. I need to phone a friend right now. My friend Jen's grandmother used to work there.
Really?
Yep. Between Avenue U and Avenue V.
Exactly right.
On the right-hand side where McDonald's is. And then it was the C something.
Yeah. So we would go there. Everyone would get breakfast or, like a burger or something. My brother would be like, can I get seafood fra diablo? Like just because it did have something like C in the name. I can tell you that you don't get to choose where you grow up for the most part. But I am so fucking thankful that my parents, when they came to this country, they wound up landing in Brooklyn.
I am forever grateful.
Yeah.
I feel like I bow down to my mother. She still lives there, and it's the best place on earth.
Yeah. I lost my accent for the most part. I went away to school for 4 years, came back, so I don't have but I think it's going to come out by the end of this show.
100%.
All right, a little break in the action here to tell you guys about One Bone. Quick question, fellas. If you're a bigger guy like me, how many times have you bought a shirt that technically fits, but it doesn't actually fit? It's either baggy in the stomach, tight in the chest, shrinks into a crop top after one wash. It's absolutely brutal. That's why One Bone exists. They make premium essentials engineered specifically for bigger builds. Super soft, structured, with stretch. It holds its shape. The collar doesn't bacon, and it doesn't lose its length after 2 washes. You throw it on, it just works. Tees, hoodies, long sleeves, short sleeves, everyday staples that actually make you look put together without trying too hard. Am I a customer? Yes. If you're watching this on YouTube or any other video platform, I'm wearing One Bone right now. People tell me, oh, Large, you always wear those collared shirts buttoned up to the top. Yeah, this is a One Bone. And you go onto their website and it kind of gives you all your dimensions, you tell them, and it comes up with, I think my size is like 1A or something like that. So these people pride themselves on making quality clothes that fit bigger dudes. And that's me. I'm looking for quality and I'm looking for something to get onto my sexy, oversized frame. So go to onebone.com and upgrade to a fit that's actually built for you. Use code BARSTOOL for 20% off and see the difference firsthand. After one wear, you'll understand why standard fits just don't make the cut. Thank you very much for your continued support, One Bone. And let's get back to the interview with Ayesha. Let's talk about the food scene right now in New York City. Ian had just showed me something that incensed me. I just put out a sequence of it. Two young ladies, I believe it's a popular podcast. I'm being told it's a popular podcast, right? Didn't you say something like that? And, good looking women. And one girl goes, I don't want to say anything that's insulting, but New York has the worst food in the world. LA is this. New York food is just not good. That's what she'd said. It's not good. It took me a year to realize it, but it's not good. And I had to sequence it saying, shut up. Really, shut the fuck up. If you want to tell me that LA has better food than New York, I'd love to listen to the conversation. I had Segura in here and he's like, Tokyo's the best food city in the world. Cool. LA is better than New York. Okay, let's compare notes.
Well, take me.
But to say it's not good is just one of those things that's whatever.
It was Tinks on the Morgan Stewart show.
Tinks on the Morgan Stewart show. I don't know. That doesn't mean no good.
Is Tinks from LA?
Tinx.
Yes.
I'm saying that they're from LA?
Yeah.
LA based, I think so.
Yeah, they are LA based. So it incensed me. When would you say extensive travels?
Yes.
Okay, what would you say the best food city in the world is?
I mean, I would have to put New York as number one because I just undisputably you can get any cuisine at a high level or a street food type of level and with heart and gusto. I love London. I think London's food scene is pretty dope. I feel like the chefs in London are cooking their hearts out without even caring what other people are thinking about. And some of that unbridled cooking brings the best food. Like here, we're worried about people's opinions. There's people that come in, the critics and this and that. In London, I think it's a different story.
Do you agree that London, though, being a very old city, the food scene is not that old? Because I remember going there 25 years ago.
Very young.
And not seeing it and seeing where it's come in the last 25 years. It's an elite food town where it was almost grouped in with the Irish as being a joke culinarily for such a long time. But the worm turned about 25 years ago and now it's
I think it's even shorter than that. I would say in the last 10 years, I've been frequenting and I think within the 7 or 8 years, there's been a drastic change in the quality of food and the simplicity of it. I mean, the bread, I judge a lot of things about people's bread.
Me too.
Bread is the cornerstone of life.
Right.
And it's very hard to get a bad loaf of bread when it comes to London.
Yeah. And I also judge people by their butter.
Yeah.
Bread and butter are, you're saying, a cornerstone.
That's a meal.
It absolutely is one of those things that I judge you on immediately when I sit down at a place. So
and that's I'm sorry, I don't want to cut you off.
No, please.
I miss that culture in restaurants. Prices went up and people don't give that anymore, but Michael's, they give you bread.
Michael's does a very good job. I should go to Michael's and shoot something there.
I'll come with you.
They don't need it. Oh, I'd love to have you come. I would love to. Yeah. They don't need it.
No,
obviously.
We're just going to eat good food.
And I will tell you another thing. Their jarred sauce, it like London, used to be absolutely disgraziad growing up. No one would touch a jar of fucking Prego. I get the sour burps just thinking about it. But now we had Conant in here a couple of months ago with his Martone Street. And I'm eating it cold with him, trying it out.
What's another good, I was just having this conversation yesterday. It's funny you brought that up because I feel from a chef's perspective, it's hard to promote these jarred sauces, right? Because in 45 minutes, you could make your own sauce that's delicious.
Yes.
That being said, there are really Scott Conan, I just did a video with his sauce because I thought it was so good. And do you know Missy Robbins from Missy Pasta?
No.
And Lilia and Williamsburg?
Oh, yeah.
She has a place called Missy Pasta that's a kind of she sells ready-made lasagnas and all these sauces, but and fresh pasta. You can eat there as well. But her 30 clove sauce, bananas.
Really?
Bananas good.
Where does your kung fu come from? How strong is your cooking? I know the answer to this, but when did you start cooking? Under whose tutelage? Your mom is Italian, dad's Indonesian. Your dad learned to cook. You think he was in the Merchant Marines, but your mom did most of the heavy lifting at home as far as cooking for you. So you have a definitive love for that Brooklyn Italian feel to it. And you've gone Mediterranean with your restaurants. Give me the idea of the first time you fried an egg to where you are now. What made you into the accomplished chef?
I moved out when I was 19. I came from a house where I think was the original set of Chopped. My parents used to duke it off on who could cook better. So my brother and I were just good eaters. We were never in the kitchen. There wasn't enough room for the four of us. So the two of them duked it out. I moved out when I was 19 and realized I was hungry. And what was I going to do? I could have boiled an egg and that's probably it.
Right.
I started to watch Lydia Bastianich. I was always a fan.
You worked for her, didn't you?
Her,
Yeah, she was awesome.
And I'm dating myself, but on VHS, I taped an episode and she made risotto stuffed tomatoes. I went and bought all of the ingredients. I put Michael Bublé on volume 20. Right. And I bought a bottle of Chianti Rufino, which was like $25 then.
Chianti Gold.
Right?
Yeah, the gold.
And then, and I made the dish. It probably took me over an hour to make. And I remember tasting it. And probably now to like look back on it, it was probably like a 6 out of 10. But it wasn't about the food. It was about the connection that I made this with my own hands.
Yeah.
And watching her and her grandma hands, it always inspired me. And from there, I enrolled in culinary school and I told my mother I was going to work for her. And she's like, no way, it's never going to happen. And I literally made it from like dishwasher to sous chef there in 4 years. And that was my first restaurant.
And legend too.
Yeah.
Like my dad, only when he would watch cooking shows, it was only the Lydia cooking show.
Yeah.
And I don't think it was before the Food Network. So she was watching her on Channel 13.
Yeah, PBS.
Yeah, she was absolutely a stud.
About a month ago, she came into the restaurant and I have not been nervous in like a long time. Like when it comes to food, it's my restaurant. It's like inviting me to your house, you know? And she walked through the door. I mean, I knew she was coming and my feet were not on the floor and there was like a pit in my stomach and I was so nervous, but also contradictory, like so confident because I was so happy that she was coming in to eat my food and I knew that I was going to feed her like well, whether she liked it or not was opinion, but it was such a 360 moment for me and she was so lovely and we got to like talk to each other as adults and in our own way and I had not seen her in years and she was so proud and so complimentary and I was just it was a great moment.
It's a really good come to like I don't know. It's just like an arrow in your quiver.
Yeah.
That the person that you had, for lack of a better term, lusted after for so long from a culinary standpoint,
obsessed,
now is kind of eating your stuff. So you went from Culinary Institute, ICE.
Yep.
And then you went from there into...
So from
Lydia?
after I left for Lydia, I went and worked for Terrence Brennan. He had a restaurant called Picheline.
Okay, yeah.
On the East Side, on 62nd and Broadway, and then I opened up a place for him called Bar Artisanal, which was in Tribeca, and it was kind of like a baby artisanal. Remember that he used to have the cheese stuff and like that, but it was more of a Mediterranean approach. And I worked for him for a while, and then I worked for Missy Robbins at Avoce.
Avoce, yeah.
And then I left Avoce to open up a restaurant in Brooklyn on Atlantic Avenue, and it was like 2 doors away from where my parents met because they met in a restaurant. And I felt like it was like a kindred thing. Yeah. And I wanted the person that I opened the restaurant with had a Michelin star, and that was my dream I was in those type of restaurants. And it was called Red Gravy, and I worked there for like 2.5 years, and it was like the most amazing and heart-wrenching experience simultaneously. Like I was doing my own version of like Southern Italian food and loving everything. But the restaurant, there wasn't the organization and the discipline that I was used to in the restaurants that I had come from. And I kind of it was like your first love, you know, when you give a little bit of your soul or too much of it.
Right.
And when it went down, it was closing, I kind of was so heartbroken. And I called Missy and I was like, I don't know what to do. And she said, come back to Avoce. You could be the CDC of Avoce Columbus. And I was like, okay. And then I told my mom about it and she was like, you don't go backward in life. You were already there. Move forward. So I called Missy back and she was like, what? And she was like, let me introduce you to these people. And that was Vicky and Mark, who are now my business partners. And they had a restaurant called 100 Acres. Okay. And it was the old Provence. And which is now the Shuka.
Yeah. So all these names are so goddamn familiar. Like in I'm trying to go into my memory to find them all. So you've touched so many different places on your way to where you are now, and then mix in the actress part. So there are 1,000 chefs with cleaver tattoos and stuff like that who do want to get in there and battle Bobby Flay or do whatever they can do beyond whatever, the chew or any of that kind of stuff. What was your break to get into Food Network?
So I feel like I always had that itch to want to be famous and want to be on TV.
Well, you're front of the house though. Like when you have a place like Shuka and Shukette, will I be seeing you mostly in the kitchen even now? Or is it something where you're hanging out with a snifter of wine coming over and be like, hey, how's everything going? Like, you know what I mean?
It'll be a little bit of both. Well, what I did was I built a restaurant. So when you come to Shukette, it's an open kitchen. I mean, literally, there were 29 seats at the bar, and then there's all the booths around it. My brother says to me, you opened Del Rio when we first opened. Right, it looks like a diner. So it's such an open kitchen that you see me cooking, you see me shouting out the orders, checking the food, and I'm also walking in the dining room. I wanted to create a restaurant that was 100% me. I wanted to blur the lines between the front and the back. At Shuka, the kitchen was in the basement. So like people would walk by when they would go into the bathroom, they'd stick their head in. They're like, oh, was the chef here? And I'm like, yeah. And they were like, oh, can you tell him that his food is great? And I'd be like, yeah, I'll let him know when he comes back, you know? I was just like, you never knew what was going on. Like you were cooking this food, your line is cooking the food and it's going up to the kitchen. And like, yes, managers come down, they tell you like, table 70 loves their food. But now at Shukette, it's like you see everything, the good, the bad, and the ugly. But most of it is people like having this like existential ecstasy moment with their rips and dips. And it's such a blessing to see. And you could see the guys that are on the line that are cooking and they get to see it. I'm like, look, or somebody will come up to the past and be like, this meal was amazing. And it's just, it's a different type of environment.
What about everybody out there who feels like they are pretty good in the kitchen, that they have pretty good business acumen and they want to open up a restaurant? Like people have told me, if you love food, the way to not love food anymore is to open up a restaurant. And to open up a restaurant, I've been told you have to be a little bit of a psychopath.
Yeah.
Do you agree with either of those?
The psychopath, 100%.
Okay.
Pushing or like giving people advice to open a restaurant is not something I do. What I tell them is to buddy up with someone who has a restaurant that is going to tell you the truth so you could see if you want to experience it on your own. It is the worst and best thing ever. Mm-hmm. A restaurant can make and break you within 30 minutes. You know, a few years ago, under the former administration, there was a U.S. Culinary Corps, and they would bring us to the White House to cook for dignitaries and stuff. So they went, and we were in gowns at this event. 8 hours later, I fly back, and I'm at the restaurant, and I'm on the line, and they're like, the dishwasher doesn't work, and I'm laying on my back in my chef coat, laughing and crying simultaneously. My sous chef, are you all right? I'm like, yesterday I'm in the White House, and today I have suds in the back of my hair underneath the dish pit.
Right. Yeah.
So it's one of those things. I think people don't understand the restaurant business unless you're in it, and it's a hands-on experience. To own a restaurant in New York it's really tough. There's a lot of laws, there's a lot of legislature, other things that come into place that can change from moment to moment that can put you out of business in a heartbeat.
Shit on New York a little bit just for a second because we have to be realistic. What is the worst thing about New York? I sometimes think that on top of the pricing, I'm okay with. I've just come to realize that that's it. And when people comment online, if I have a meal or something like, what was the price on that? I don't even engage with them. I just know that everything is expensive. And for the most part, I paid a lot more for a lot less in general, right? Like I've splurged at other parts of my life. So I don't mind spending a lot for a good meal, no matter what city that I'm in. But I sometimes... I don't know. I get to feel like there's a filthiness to the city that is more than gritty, and it's starting to bug me a little bit. And I'm older and whatnot. What's the downfall of New York City for you? Because we've been pretty high on it so far.
Well, two things. One, I want to say about the pricing point of it. I am also a diner, and I also earn my own money. So if I go to a place and spend money, as long as I feel satisfied when I leave, I'm okay with it. So I'm not putting the nitty gritty on why my pork chop was $58 somewhere and $32 in another place.
Right.
I feel like if you're giving me a pork cutlet and calling it a pork chop and it's overcooked,
right,
and like you're using crap ingredients, then that shame is on you and you shouldn't be doing that. The thing about New York that sucks, I think, is because when we came back from COVID, people really realized that restaurants were the fabric of our community, right? Everybody missed eating out and being like close to each other and this whole like what I call the rip and dip, but the convivial style of what eating out is supposed to be, right? Like put your armor away, walk into a restaurant and be submissive because everybody there wants you to have a good time, right? Listen to the music, enjoy conversation, put your phone away. If you don't like the wine, send it back. If you hate the chicken, order the fish. They'll take it off your bill. So chill the F out, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But what happens is the city gets back on its feet and all the people that watch the Food Network or think that they have an acumen of like a vernacular of speaking about like acidity and stuff come in and they start critiquing food and making it difficult. The other thing is that these dumb rules about outdoor dining, these taxes, these things that like, for the health department that come in, we want the restaurants to be clean, no doubt about it. But now they're making a new rule that you have to have lights in your low boys. I mean, am I pimping my ride or am I cooking my food? Like but you don't realize.
I hear what you're saying, yeah.
But you don't realize like as a business owner, like it might sound like, okay, so put a few lights in. It's not, that's like a few $1,000s that you're not even thinking about in your P&Ls or in your next 6 months of spending. So these things that other people are throwing at you that have nothing to do with, I believe that everybody should be held to a standard of how they prepare food 100%. I think that I'm probably like more strict than the health department is. Do I think that there should be like rules and regulations to help customers and restaurants simultaneously? Yes. But it always seems that on the small business owner, like there's more like a thumb on the forehead and there's more pressure every single time that makes it harder and harder. And it's those small like blips in the day when you see someone whose eyes are rolling back on their head when they're smelling the pita and you're like, this is worth it.
So the thing is I was unable to use a CPAP for a long time, but if my mask was this, like honestly, like if this is what I was like feeding in and out of every night, and there's a little char on it too. Yeah. So like, which makes I would sleep like a fucking angel every night. So all right, so we'll get away from the negativity. The best things about New York are what you think, right? You come here during the holidays, there's nothing like it. There's absolutely Restaurant Week, there's nothing like it. There are some hidden gems in and around town, particularly when you decide to get your passport ready and go to the outer boroughs. Let's talk about the outer boroughs. Rank them for me. Rank them for me right now. As a Brooklyn girl, we have 5 boroughs. Give me the top from the worst to the first.
Well, I have to
food-wise.
Oh, well, I'll put that on at 5 both ways because
really,
yeah, it doesn't count for me. There's a few like Danino's, maybe Lee's Tavern.
So Danino's is a pizza place in Staten Island. You know about this? Where the calamari is so light it floats off and almost hits the ceiling fan.
They have a white pie that's like studded with onions that are sauteed in butter. It's like those things for me. But I listen. Fair enough. I don't spend a lot of time in Staten Island.
Right. And
I think like all of those Italian American places that like give you chicken parm and then hit you with the DJ 2 hours later. Like you have to be in the mood for that. I'm not knocking it. You know, I've been known to stand on a table and wave a napkin over my head, but I can't do a deep dive into their cuisine and what's going on in Staten Island. So I'm going to put them at 5. Of course, I'm going to put Brooklyn in my hometown front. I think that growing up, we had the best pizza ever.
Yeah.
We invented the slice. You know what I mean? Mark Lucali, I love him, but like that's a different kind of pizza. But I'm talking about like a New York slice that I think that there's a few pizzerias that you probably can still get a good slice in. And I'm
going to stop you. Would you agree that a New York City slice quintessentially is never from a pie? I like a slice that's thrown back on the deck to me and poured out in a piece of wax paper on top of a paper plate. That's a New York slice to me.
That's the definition.
That is the textbook of a New York slice.
Best Square, Pizza Wagon in Bay Ridge. If you order
Jesus, Pizza Wagon.
If you order the pie, I didn't tell you that was the best thing. You have to order a square.
Yeah.
Whatever you're the middle, the side, the corner, whatever it is, and you have to have them heated up so that there's a little bit of char on the outside. So the first bite you get is that crunch right into the ooey gooey.
And it's special. And I think like to your point, I'm spitting bread all over this thing, which is totally fine. But to your point, we're getting away from that. Like everybody wants to go, and I know David said this flop and the undercarriage and all that stuff. I mean, I don't know if you know Dave, but he's pretty big with that type of stuff. I just want to get back to somebody, give me 2 slices, put them on the deck, not too hot, but I do want to get it a little bit crisped up on a paper plate, never blot it, never put anything on it. Yeah. And just, I mean, it's vitamin C.
A little bit of grease right on here in the pinky. So as you're eating the slice, you do a little, a little side lick. You know what I mean? And you wash it down with your fountain Pepsi.
Victoria on Garrettson Avenue, always a great slice.
Yes.
Knapp Street Pizza. We used to have a bakery called Leon's by us, which was elite, and somehow that closed down. I can't find a very, very good bakery to replace Leon's. It was just so close to my house growing up. But I would say that Brooklyn was number 1 for you. So what's in the middle? Do you know enough about the Bronx?
Not really.
That's my blind spot.
Arthur Avenue, I've been to a bunch of times. Like I've done the tour thing.
Right.
I've had the places Casa with mozzarella there, and then Titelli Brothers that have that stuff, and Dominic's that doesn't have the menu with the old school thing. Mm-hmm. But I don't have enough. But I would put them somewhere in the middle. I think you have to put Queens probably number 2, only for the diversity.
I think you would put Queens number 1 if you weren't from Brooklyn.
Probably.
Yeah.
But the diversity when it comes to Queens is like unbelievable. When I used to have a new sous chef that was someone who was like either from Nepal or somewhere from Mexico, whatever, I used to always tell them like a few months in, take me, because they always live in Queens, take me where your people's food is.
Right.
And I used to go on this like amazing food crawl, and I would like, this is the best thing ever. Like I would eat momos for 5 hours. And I would eat, drink Victorias and Coronas while eating tacos and ribs and be like, this is the best thing ever.
And I think when we had Zimmerman on, he had said that not only is New York the best food city in the world, Queens is arguably the best food city in the world. And again, like I don't know enough about, have you been to Tokyo a bunch?
No.
Okay.
Never.
Oh, you've never been? Neither have I. People rave about Tokyo, and I can't wait to go. And I know that there's a different, I don't know, like respect for food over there. And it's a kind of most of the cuisine outside of traditional cuisine in and around Tokyo is new to them. And they're really spending a lot of time to perfect it. And I like the hustle. I just don't know if I'm going to ever get there, to be honest with you. So New York's the shit for me.
Yeah.
I mean, what city in the United States you think is kind of a sneaky food town that you would tell people you got to get your ass to?
Let me think
I gotta
about
get in
that
on
one.
something right here. What is this? Is this the whipped feta?
That's the whipped feta with pistachio.
Oh, Jesus.
That's a good one. I like Philly. I think Philly's gritty.
Don't you think that Philly kind of had to come up too in the last 10 years?
Yeah.
Like it was cheesesteaks and pretzels and water ices for a long time. I've gone down. I mean, who was at the helm? Maybe Morimoto was kind of in there like very early and stuff like that. But Philly, I think, is off the charts now.
Philly, definitely. What else would I say? I think LA is, I think there's certain places in LA. I think if you're eating in Venice, you're okay. You have like good restaurants. The thing about LA is the travel. Like if I feel like I'm in traffic in New York City, I'm making it to my destination. When you're in traffic in LA, you're still sitting in the same place, going nowhere on whatever the fucking highway's called. I have no idea.
You were so gracious. I got a subbing. You were so gracious because I had asked if we could do this at noon. And you were like, sure. I was like, my producer likes to sleep late. I'm just kidding. My producer was doing on another project. Can we go as late as 1? And then I said at 1:30. And yeah, absolutely. Whatever. You're kind of free this afternoon. Your representative had called me. She's stuck in traffic. She'll be there at 1:33. If we were in LA, your rep would call me and she'd be like, she's stuck in traffic. She'll see you there tomorrow.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, so I think it is one of those things where New York does have the leg up on that. Even though traffic can be just as disgusting here, LA is consistently disgusting all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Agreed.
But we just got back from San Diego for the NASCAR race out there. I can go there tomorrow.
Yeah?
I can live there tomorrow.
I haven't been there in so long. I mean, I remember my memory of San Diego was probably early, like mid-20s, waking up with a burrito in not my hotel room.
All right. Yeah. 62 is the low. 72 is the high.
All right.
Every goddamn day. And that's friendly as all hell to me. Yeah. L&B's, is it overrated?
All right. This is my thing. I get agita from sauce.
Can I preface this? This isn't a gotcha podcast. And maybe it seems like I'm asking specific questions because I want to, because we kind of are from the same place. So this isn't something for people from Staten Island to be like, fuck you, you don't know shit about it, we got more. Or if somebody from L&B, like, welcome to the tomb, L&B. I'm just asking because I've seen what's happened to L&B. I still go there all the time. I love it. The pizza, I'm going to go first. Pizza isn't as good as I remember it being as a kid, but I still go all the time. And the restaurant is better than I remember as it being a kid. How do you feel about L&B?
So this is how I would rank it. I would put the pizza last. I would put the sandwich shop second. And then I would put the restaurant first. That's how I would do. Talk to me about a fried veal cutlet on the bread with salad. Like, that's my thing. The thing about, and I love Lenny, and every time I go in there, he cooks for me. I know him. He's like my godfather.
Name dropping son of a bitch. I know fucking Lenny.
No, but I'm just saying. So whenever I go, I can't even order what I want. Like, he just cooks, and I'm like, I fully submit when I'm there. I mean, the stuff that comes out, the pork chops, he makes like a New York strip, the whipped potatoes with the rosemary and the garlic, the pastas, and the dueling shrimp.
The shrimp 2 ways. The dueling shrimp.
The dueling shrimp? Like, give me that, and I'm fine.
Yeah, absolutely.
The only thing I think, and I tell him all the time, like, you got to up your bread game when it comes to the sandwiches. Like, it's like that white Italian bread that doesn't have a lot of crust on it, and the inside is like it's superfluous, so you got to scoop it out. And the pizza game. Oh, first of all, I think we missed one because I think it's the restaurant, the sandwich, the ice cream, and then the pizza.
Okay,
Did
so
you ever have the peanut butter swirl?
No, but when I go there, I'm a spumoni freak,
That's
right?
fine.
So I go for that, and I tend to not deviate from it, but I'll get it the next time
Just
I'm
get a
there
scoop.
because I don't get good spumoni outside of Ellen.
No.
It's got the best spumoni that I've ever had,
Hands down.
Cremalata,
Anywhere.
Cremalata rather. I love it. So if you're asking me to put the thing into your ranking, because my rankings are the same as you, restaurant, sandwich spot, pizza, I might put the ice cream as number one because I think they operate at a higher level. Water ices, spumoni, their homemade ice cream, even their soft ice cream is almost boardwalkish, that type that you want from a boardwalk. So I put that as number one.
Right. I hear you. I would agree.
Okay.
That ice cream window is flawless.
Yes.
There's not a flavor, a type of ice cream like you're saying, whether the soft serve or the scrapey ice or the spumoni that is not there. That is not perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why can't they recreate it? Why do you see things like, and again, just because it's local, Roland Roaster tried to open up next to, I think, like Irving Plaza or something at some point.
They were on East 3rd and 2nd Avenue.
Something like that. Yeah. And it didn't work out, right? L&B is now over underneath the Brooklyn Bridge, somewhere in there. I hope it works out for them. I really do.
Listen, there's sometimes like everybody will ask me like, what's your secret sauce? It's like the terroir, right?
Yeah.
I'm not trying to be fancy, but like when you're eating a tomato in Sicily and you plant the same seed over here, there's just something about it. It's not just the water and it's not just the hands. It's like its own thing. A restaurant is a living, breathing entity that you feed, that has emotions, that gives back to you. And you cannot just pick one up and drop it off at the next place. Maybe McDonald's has been successful doing that. But when it comes to like L&B, Shuka, Shukette, it just can't be done.
Right. New York City tap water.
Best
in the fucking world.
Best.
When I went away to college, I would bring gallons of it because my dad would drive me out in the Ford Aerostar, and we just have like gallons of tap water. And they'd be like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "It's the best in the world."
Yeah, you can't.
I offer you this. Obviously, when you come in, Body Armor is one of our sponsors on a bunch of things, but I love New York City tap, and usually, and maybe it's a difference with the bagels and the pizza. I just don't know.
Yeah.
But I think it's just a huge amalgamation of all of them. What's favorite cuisine for you? Is that a Sophie's Choice thing? Is that something I shouldn't ask somebody as accomplished as you?
No. Why? This is a free. We're shooting the shit here.
I think we are.
My favorite cuisine. That's hard because I'm a moody eater.
This fucking whipped feta is awesome.
Thank you.
This is awesome, to be quite honest with you.
I'm a moody eater. Like sometimes I want to eat this food. Sometimes I'm like, I'm in the mood for a hot dog. Sometimes I want old school Italian food. You know where I'm going. And sometimes I want a sandwich that I know that someone cannot recreate. And that's where that's the thing about being a chef, right? Like if I'm in the mood for shrimp franchise. There's only one other place besides me that I think could make it better. They could be like, sometimes I'm in the mood for a Cobb salad, as crazy as that could be. And the best Cobb salad was the diner on, I don't know if you ever had it, the one that we're talking about, the C something.
Oh, on Cornell Avenue.
They made the best Cobb salad. But anyway, and you know how you like your Cobb salad. I like my eggs boiled a specific way, so I have to make it. So like, but when I go out, like I'm happy to eat a lot of different food.
Has becoming an accomplished chef ruined the restaurant experience for you? Because a lot of stuff that you go to, you're like, I can do this better?
I think initially it did, like for the first, maybe the first half of my 10 years. And the latter of the 10 years, I realized that like, I'm a diner and I'm not a chef when I eat out. I'm not there to critique someone else's food.
Okay, when you're flying. How about this? I find that if you're going to the airport and you're flying to Miami to do the Miami whatever food thing or something like that,
right.
So you're in there and you get to the thing, you have an hour to kill, you need something to eat either on the plane or beforehand, and you're in a airport. That's where not now because some of these airports are done up very, very well, but for a while there was just no options for people who had a better palate. Do you find yourself fucked when it comes to situations like that?
100%, but I think a turkey sandwich always does a trick.
Okay.
I try to eat before I get on the plane, or I know that I'm going to eat when I get there. I just think like airport eating is like a waste of time. First of all, that whole thing about getting to an airport 4 hours earlier so you can get a massage and have dinner, like suck a dick, bro. Stay home. Like, isn't it more comfortable to do that? Why do you want to make your trip longer than it has to be? The whole idea of convenience is getting from point A to point B as fast as possible. So this, like, I applaud everybody putting, their restaurants in the airports. I mean, I guess if I had the opportunity, I don't know that I would say no either. But I just don't know that I want to elongate my trip like that. And I think like when you fly back from Chicago, what's his name? Rick Bayless has that Frontera grill there. Yeah. Like, that's dope. You know what I mean? You get a margarita, like those sandwiches. I forgot what they're called. You guys, nice to meet us. But the other kind of Mexican sandwich that's like so delicious, whatever.
Tortas?
Tortas, thank you. The tortas are so good. Like you almost get one, you eat one there and then you get one because if you're hungry in the 3 hours that you'll be on the plane, you'll eat it. But that's like a very selected scenario. I don't need to have pret manger. Is that even how you say it?
I believe so.
You know, like,
I think you nailed it.
Split pea soup when I'm there? Like, no, thank you.
I can tell you what I've been doing though, and he's traveling with me a lot. I don't know why I keep pointing to him like he's my life partner, but he'll be like, "Oh, I'm about to get on. I just had steak and eggs at the diner here inside the airport." I like wrap sandwiches now in like wax paper, so I'll do like a ham and bear type thing, and which is kind of fancy.
That's my favorite.
I love it. Right, like so if I get the right baguette, it all goes around the bread, right? You know, you can put boar's head in there if you want to, but which boar's head is an elite cold cut. I'm not dissing boar's head, but I'm saying as opposed to fresh ham, and it's the best snack that I can have. So I find myself like Hannibal Lecter. Everyone else goes and they start ripping open their peanuts and their Diet Coke. I put the tray table down. I'm like, all right, I'm going to start with this. I'm going to move on to this. My whole carry-on is my meals.
I'm like, can you bring a sandwich onto the plane that you made at home?
Yes. You can bring a sandwich onto the plane that you brought at home. And I'm talking, I brought full baguettes when I'm traveling with my wife and kids. Yeah. You just got to wrap them in wax paper, no tinfoil. So I'm wax paper or parchment paper and rubber bands, and I get on there and I start doing it, and everyone's like, "Oh my god, a Cornerstone just fell out." I'm like, "You damn right it did." Yeah. Enjoy your fucking stroop waffle. Yeah.
Sandwiches are my love language.
Okay.
I think like if you know how you said like, you know, does being a chef kind of ruin it for you? Like deep down inside, like there's like two little pieces of me, one that wants to own a pizza shop, like a slice shop, like back in the day, not with my name on it, just like a neighborhood place that has good slices. Okay. And then the other one would love to have a sandwich shop. But I think I hold those two things so near and dear that I don't want to be tainted. Like I've had to have such calluses grown to be a chef that I don't know that I can do that for sandwiches, but I make a damn good sandwich.
Do you really?
Yeah.
We had Jeff Morrow on, and Morrow is a very good guy. Yeah. I love him. And by the way, he got his start in Tony and Tina's wedding. Remember that growing up? Like, so Jeff was on that, which explains a lot because he's kind of has a big personality. And even making sandwiches, that Morrow minute, letting him get to it, the amount of air that you put in your sandwich is almost as important as what you're putting into your sandwich. It is an art form. I do a sandwich of the month. I'm very, very proud of it, by the way. And I kill it every month consistently. I'm giving myself a little pat on the back. And to your point, I have a sandwich every day. I don't know what else I have every day. Yep. I don't have an egg every day. I have a sandwich every fucking day. I don't know what it's going to be today, but I consider this almost a sandwich, right? The way what I'm going to do with the halloumi and the falafel and whatnot.
It's just like, it's the all-inclusive of a meal. Yeah. It's got the top and the bottom and all the good stuff in the middle. Right. It gives you that jaw satisfaction when you bite into it, and every bite is a different flavor. Yeah. If you build it right.
Yes. What won't you eat?
Bad macaroni and cheese.
Bad macaroni and cheese. But is there something like I'm allergic to apples?
No. Well, actually, I am allergic to apples, but only
Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, that's
so
crazy.
It's only the skins, and she has like a top, do your lips swell up and stuff like that, and you get itchy in your ears? Right. Never met anyone that had that. This asshole, I mentioned it casually. He's got it too. 3 of us are,
Isn't that crazy?
Baked apples, applesauce, apple juice, all fine.
If someone else peels it and they rinse it, I can eat the apple. You know what I mean? I'm not going to die. But like, do I want to get a fucking allergic reaction? Like, is an apple worth it? Yeah. Like, is a cheesesteak worth hives? Yes. Give it to me all day long. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Yeah. Cheesesteak, I lose use of my right arm for 6 hours. Okay, I get it. But an apple just gives you a little bit of lip filler. Actually looks sexy on it. Yeah. And I'm like, no fucking, I'm out on it.
Yeah. But, so no, I'm not allergic to anything. The only thing I don't really eat is roasted red peppers or like red peppers in a raw form. If the peppers are spicy, I'm 100% in. It gives me agita. I will burp it up for like 6 days straight. Okay. And it's the worst feeling and flavor ever.
So does that...
do I make it? Do I make dips with things? Do I have peppers on my menu? 100%. But it's not like something... Like the other day I was making a sandwich. And I was like, you know what would be really good on here? But I use the cherry peppers, that are spicy. So like, it doesn't have to be roasted peppers all the time. But I just don't have an affinity towards it, and it does give me agita consistently.
Yeah, green peppers do that to me. Yeah. But ajvar, that little Mediterranean type,
that chopped up.
Give condiment. That to me all fucking day too. It's another.
There's a condiment. There's an Italian condiment called Bamba Calabrese, and I can't remember the people that make it, but it's like it begins with the D, the company, and it's this spicy condiment that I use like as a secret weapon on some of my sandwiches.
Is it pinkish orange?
Nope. Okay. Well, it's reddish. It kind of looks like Ivar, but it looks like more chopped. It's pickled vegetables with Calabrian chilies.
Ooh,
it's crazy good.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, next time you're in like an Italian specialty store, look it up.
I find like with my little jar of chopped Calabrian chilies, I'm bringing different types because. It used to always be crushed red pepper. That was all people used to do to bring heat. No one was using Calabrian chilies. And, at home.
Yeah.
And now it's just something that's in every dish. And I'm like, ooh, do I want to have like a little tingle? And I'm going Szechuan, like type thing. The more options that you have, that's why I think when the Food Network first came on the scene, and I can't imagine it's doing as well as it was when it first was, because there's just so many other options to see people cooking and talking about food like me right here. But when it came on the scene and it kind of increased my palate, but it also increased my pantry. And so you walk into the average pantry nowadays and you're like, oh my God, everyone's got all this stuff. Like,
it's
awesome. You happen to have any ponzu? Oh yeah, I got ponzu right here. Yeah. So is that one of those things that makes it more difficult, or do you have to kind of go out of your way now to impress people when they come to your restaurant, because you know that everything that went into this dish is in my pantry right now?
No, I think like I stick to a lane. Like when I invite somebody to my house and like if I'm cooking Korean food, I'll use Korean ingredients. But if I'm cooking Mediterranean food, like I don't do the fusion thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like you're not going to find Szechuan peppercorns in my food here, but I could cook that for you at home anytime.
Right.
Salt and pepper squid.
So you're not like one of those things. So I'm not going to get a
furikake
falafel.
No, definitely.
Really?
Not. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm a purist when it comes to that.
Okay.
I appreciate when people do that and master it, but I also feel like sometimes when you get like a global cuisine menu, like I feel like that's a passport to a stomachache.
Yeah. If I come over to your house right now and I'm going to cook a Sunday sauce with you, what's going to be playing on the radio? What's the soundtrack for a Sunday sauce?
I think when we're prepping, I might start with a little bit of Celine, because she just gives me like, you got to get the blood going and you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Some ballads going. Yeah. And then I'm probably going to definitely move into Michael Bublé. And then after that, we might play the Ronettes and the Crystals.
Going big time. Yeah. I can tell you too, like I'm a Louis Prima guy.
Yes.
I throw a little Dino on there. Yeah. So it's one of those things where I find that if I don't have, I'm gonna have a confession right now. My wife and I have been married for 27 years.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Very young into our relationship, I said, I'm going to do the cooking because I enjoy it. I'm a little bit better than you at it, and I enjoy it more than you do. And she's like, yeah, and I'm going to do the laundry. What a fucking trade.
That's why 26 years.
It's such a trade. Like she's downstairs doing the laundry outside of the vibrating of the machine, which I think she digs. Like that's a fucking win for me.
Yeah.
Because I'm upstairs with a glass of red wine with Louis Prima going on, and I'm browning meatballs. I think I win. Right? So
it's the same way.
I think every guy who's about to enter in a relationship, I think the strongest bullet you can have in your chamber is the ability to make 5 things very good. Right? I think it's a knockout thing. Is there anything more? If you meet somebody and you find out that they can't cook, does it knock them down in your book at all? Or is it just something that it doesn't really matter to you?
That's a good question. I think that if I met someone that knew how to cook, I would find that very attractive. Mm-hmm. If they didn't know how to cook, I think it would be okay. But if they weren't adventurous in eating, that would be a no-go.
Oh, they're right down the middle.
Someone who's like, I don't eat fish.
Yeah, buttered noodles.
I mean? Yeah, like even if you're allergic to nuts, I might have to find another. Like I just need somebody that's open to like different cuisines. They don't have to have the experience of it, but they have to be able to taste it. And they cannot like it. I'm okay with that.
Did you get pushed to trying new stuff? Was there ever a question, like when you were a kid, everything my mom put on the plate, we ate? Yeah. We just ate.
Yeah.
Was it the same way with you? And was your mom adventurous enough that all of a sudden you were having tripe on Fridays?
Both.
Okay.
I think I don't remember there was no choice. There wasn't like, if you don't want the tripe tonight, you're going to have chicken cutlets. It was like, this is what she made and we ate it. I don't think there was a discussion around it, but I do think coming from that mixed cultural background, like when my dad used to get home from the ship, like he would want to cook Indonesian food because he was not cooking that on the ship. And I remember like fish, like he would make like red snapper with lemongrass and simultaneously have like a soup on the stove with like the fish head bobbling in it, and like his version of chicken salad, which is in my book, he used to crush coriander seeds and lemon thyme. So I think that I was just exposed.
Mediterranean all the way drops in this, October 20th.
Thank you. I think I was just exposed to like different spices and flavors of things from an early age that like, I don't ever remember growing up and just like being a picky eater. I didn't even know what that was. Like there wasn't a choice to be that.
Right.
Over the years, was there something that I always loved tripe. I think tripe was like a delicacy. It stunk like hell. Mm-hmm. My mother had to boil it 3 times. But when you have it with the crushed tomatoes and the little peas,
wonderful.
It's so delicious.
Yeah.
So
it has to be done right too.
Joseph Avenue does a good.
Yeah, exactly. They do tripe. Nice. Yeah. So Joseph Avenue, is that Northern Italian? Because it's more
Southern.
Oh, it's Southern Italian. Sicilian. Okay. All right. So then.
Specifically Palermo.
Okay. Because it's more peasant foodish too. Because I've had just sausages and oil with potatoes there, and it'll knock your eye out. Yeah, I just feel like going to that. So far you've been sitting down here for however long. I have like 3 or 4 restaurants that I'd like to go with you to. If you and I and Joe Isidore jumped into a El Dorado Barritz right now, and we're going to Michael's of Avenue U, what's on the radio? What freestyle song is on the radio? And what are we smoking?
So we are smoking Cubans.
Okay.
Either the Partana Black is probably my favorite, or like Boulevardier is what I've been into right now.
Right.
Kung
Fu's fucking strong again.
And I just got a box of Hoy D with an M.
I don't know,
but I'm going to try them out. They look sexy. So cigars are going all around. They're cut with a punch. No V cut, no straight cut. Okay.
I gotcha.
Cut with the punch. We're going to start off with CVB Spring Love because we just got to get into it. And we have to have the windows down because we're smoking. So we want people to know what's
I'm going to do a couple buttons. Fuck this. So we're doing Spring Love. Come back to me. And all of a sudden I had a nameplate, and the nameplate was rectangular. Michael. There was a small diamond chip over here and a starburst there. And on the other rope chain was a lion head with 2 rubies in the eyes.
I hope you still have this.
I think I have to have it somewhere.
We got to dig it out.
I get arrested.
Send me a picture of it.
I had to spend the night at the 61st Precinct in Gravesend. Yeah, Coney Island Avenue. So I spend the night in there. What's your name? Michael and John Fitzgerald, who was one of my best friends at the time, put me in the tank for the rest because they couldn't tell I was only 14, 13 because I was so fucking big. So, and that's still a fond memory for me for some reason.
I love that.
Yeah. And then when we drive in, I say, hey, kids, what's that? Oh, that's the 6-1. That's where you spent the night, Dad. I'm like, you guys don't do it, but fucking I will in a heartbeat.
I did it for you.
Yeah.
We have to move into a little bit of Judy Torres.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. I mean? Yeah.
And then we could just let it fly. Coro could be anything. And then that's what we're smoking. That's what we're listening to. What's the other question?
No, that was it. What are we doing? Because I was thinking might go like a Newport Light type thing.
Newport Light 100s is my blood type.
That's what I'm saying. Newport Light 100s.
It's been 7 years. Not since I smoked one, but since I quit smoking. I dream. There's not a day that goes by. It's not that I think about it. Like, I wasn't addicted to the nicotine. I'm addicted to the smoke. I want to be enveloped in a room full of smoke. And that's why I think I moved to cigars. Because when you exhale, like you're in that cloud, that puff, like that Alice in Wonderland Cheshire cat.
Yeah.
Meow me up the wazoo, bro.
Right. Maybe we should go to a hookah bar.
I love it.
Oh, have you been? I haven't been to one.
Oh, yeah. I have like 4 hookahs in my house. Okay. Watermelon mint. We'll fill it up with a grapefruit. Put your feet up.
Really?
We'll have a cigar here and the hookah pipe here. That would be dreams.
Get Manoli in here with the fucking camera. I met Shaq at a hookah bar once. He was coming out as I was walking in, which I thought was kind of cool.
It must look like a Snapple in his hand.
He came in. He was coming out as I was walking by to get my cars on. I think it was on 54th or 55th Street between 5th and 6th, and because my office was right there. I hit him with a dap. I'm still talking about it. It was so fucking clean. I was so proud of it. And then he comes over, 2 cops. See him, 2 regular sized cops. And the cop says, take a picture of me. He's like, absolutely. Grabbed his partner, turned him around, pinned him against the thing, took off and everyone was just laughing because it was Shaq. Otherwise, everyone would be there'd be gunplay.
Yeah.
And, but I got to get into the hookah thing. Cigars is something, we had a cigar guy on here because it's one of my vices as well. I don't go too deep into it as far as picking a cigar being milder to stronger. I sort of live in the middle. Are you one of those ones who's smoking a dark ass cigar every time?
Not every time, but that would be my preference.
Okay.
I like it a full body.
Okay. And then if you want to cut down, you'll just do a dog walker, like a little 20-minute type thing.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
And then I'll do a Macanudo then or something like that.
Do you feel the first time that you had a very expensive bottle of wine, you might have been like, man, I'm not really knocked out by this comparatively to anything that I got from $40 to $100. I don't think this $1,000 wine really is worth it. I had a very expensive cigar for the first time a couple of years ago. It's fucking worth it.
100%. 2 things to me. The wine game is not my strongest suit because I just don't really like wine. But champagne is a dangerous habit.
Really?
That's one of my, like, champagne and cigars are my vices. Because if you, like Prosecco I use in the foot bath now. Like, you can't even, I love everything Italian, but I think they should stay out of the sparkling game 100%.
Really?
But when you have like a good Blanc de Blanc, which is my kind of favorite champagne, where the bubbles are really tight, it's like high in acidity, but like coats the palate. And it's just like, it's like drinking diamonds. And when you're drinking that and everything else is like swill, so you're done.
Right. It does ruin
the cigar game. And like what's even worse about the cigar game is like when you're in the game with other people that are not in your game, and then you wind up like giving out, which is fine because it's like smoking is a it's a shareable situation,
Yes.
you know? Like if somebody's like smoking a backwood, which is a joke, but like, you know, like a not really good cigar, I almost want to give them one to be like, if you're going to enjoy, then enjoy.
Yeah.
Because there's something, the smoke is, you know, it's 100% different.
I know exactly what you mean. And by the way, the first time I smoked a backwoods was with Buddha Ben. And it was obviously split and filled. And I felt like I was smoking a piece of shit. Like it was that damp. Like, you know what I mean? It wasn't, dude. But I was at a meal that.
It's like limp on you.
It was.
Like,
I was smoking like a limp piece of shit that was wet with some. But I went to a not a restaurant. I went to a dinner in the Explorers Club. I had no business being at this table. A lot of wealthy people. And we started talking about cigars. And one of the people there was like, oh, I own a cigar company. I'll send you a box. And I said, okay, cool. I gave him my address. He'd said that it was a Freud. That was the name of the cigar. I don't remember anything more. It came in this beautiful blue box. I looked it up and it was about $100 a cigar. So I was like, is this going to be disappointing to me? I swear to God, it was like I was getting CPR by an angel. Like, you know what I mean? It was just breathing in. I could have had 7 of them that day. So I'm not necessarily a proponent of paying up for ingredients, except for a few times. Like some ingredients deserve to be sold at a premium. Cigars are 100%. You need to spend money to have a good cigar, I feel.
Yeah. And you need to have like a reputable source where you're buying from. Because I feel bad for these people that are ordering online and then they're fakes and then you're like, it's just not good.
We should open up a cigar store.
I would love it.
And we have the illegal cigar lounge and it's just like everybody does.
It's a necessity. We need a place to sit.
Yeah, and a couple of TVs, nothing on too loud, like World Cup of Beyond or some bullshit like that. And just sit down. You need good ventilation. There's one on Roots. I don't know when you.
I feel like we should also do like a silent disco situation where we have a few channels on here. You know what I mean? If you want a little freestyle, you want a little thing. Like, you know,
Judy Torres and us?
Right. Because like a cigar could be a solo situation. Like you come in at 2:00 in the afternoon. You don't have to be somewhere until 4:00.
Yeah.
You put your tunes on.
I will tell you, if I go to a family event, that dictates how big my cigar is going to be. If it's people I don't want to spend too much time with, I smoke a fucking paint roller. You know what I mean? But otherwise, I'll just kind of do a quick dog walker.
My brother has been hosting, I'm going to get in trouble, but my brother's been hosting Thanksgiving. And like, that's our cigar like night. And I will bring like this cannon because like we just want to hang out in the backyard. Yeah. We want to be involved with everything else that's happening.
And it's a smaller group.
Yes.
Like all of a sudden the weird uncle doesn't smoke. Cool.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? Like you can kind of get away from people.
And then my mother comes back there and she's like, can I have one? And I'm like, no, we don't have one for you. We didn't bring any of the dog walker today.
What's the best food to drink with, to eat with champagne?
Caviar. I don't know. I think champagne goes with everything. I'm a big champagne drinker. Fried chicken. I think like pasta with garlic and oil.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even a cheesesteak and champagne and betties.
Why the fuck not? Is there anything that you find is overrated? My daughter is going to ask me to go to Blank Street and get her a strawberry matcha. And I don't like them. I can see like where they are. But is there anything that you see that's extremely popular and you're like, that's a flash in the pan?
I think for me, I'll always say like the honey on pizza.
Well, the hot honey.
Yeah, I just, it's like overrated. It's overdone. It's like they'll put hot honey on cauliflower. Like cut it out. I use a lot of honey in my cuisine. Some of it is forward facing. Some of it is just a background flavor or like to balance heat. But I just don't get the pizza and the honey thing. Like tomato and honey does. In some cases, yes, but on a pizza, it's like the wildest place. Sense. No, zero.
They're trying too hard with that shit.
And the other thing is like, why are people waiting online for 2 hours for like frozen yogurt?
Yes.
That is a grab and go, like in and out. Mm-hmm. What are you doing? Like, is it like the guy from, you know that movie? I don't know what it is, but it's like it's a movie from England where like they fall in love with all these people like intertwined in some way, and Mr. Bean is making this potpourri thing. The guy's buying a necklace for the guy he's having an affair with. All right. But the point is that he's making like this show about the thing. Like put some fucking toppings on it and a spoon in it, and take my money and then let me get out.
But you don't make ugly food. Like you do stuff. Like when I look at this, this is beautiful. I mean,
but I'm not selling. I'm a restaurant. I have to make it good.
Yeah, like that. That's what I'm saying. Like you can't put much more lipstick on frozen yogurt, other than doing something really out of the box with it, and it doesn't work. That's what I find with most of the very popular places. I kind of wait till it dies down a little bit. Yeah, like is Danny and Coop's the best cheesesteak in New York? I don't know yet because I don't want to wait on fucking line for it. You know what I mean? Good. Salt Tank, they were nice enough to invite us there. Otherwise, I don't know if I'm waiting online for a prime rib sandwich. It was very good, so there's no problem with it. How do you feel about these health department? I know that I'm backtracking a little bit. The health department grades. Have you ever gotten anything less than an A?
We have, but not really. Like,
is it suicide?
When I was younger, I think it was suicide. Now I just think that they're ridiculous. It started to get stupid when they started making 2 people come in. So it was like like the person and their trainee.
Okay.
And you're like, they're in 2 separate spots in the kitchen. And I'm like, well, how are you training that person?
Okay.
And they're like, well, they know what they're doing. So I was like, okay, so you're both doing that. So then I'll do you. And then my sous chef will do you. And then we'll walk around. And the guy gets nasty. And you're supposed to be as nice as possible to them. But these people have no idea what it's like to run a restaurant.
Right.
And what's the story. I once got, I don't know, I think it was like 3 points for having a pea on the ground.
Really?
Yeah. And I went right to the court. I fought it. And I was like, this is the most ridiculous thing ever. You have people in New York where there are rats on the line cooking. And you're worried about the 1 pea on my floor? Like, suck it, you know?
Yeah. The guy who's making you bacon, egg, and cheese, and the cat is sitting there right there, you know?
Yeah.
The bodega cat, which I think is
licking
something.
its feet.
Yes, exactly.
Right? And what not?
Quintessential New York City food. Why is it the bacon, egg, and cheese?
It's just everything you need in a roll or a bagel or between 2 slices of bread that like gives you that hug that you need. A bacon, egg, and cheese is not a breakfast thing. It's an all day thing.
Yeah.
Because bacon, egg, and cheese is like a Band-Aid of life. You have a hangover, it's a bacon, egg, and cheese, right? You have like, you're working out and you're like, I'm going to eat healthy. And the night before, like you're craving something bad. You're like, tomorrow, I'm going to treat myself to a bacon, egg, and cheese.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like that gold star that you can give yourself for so many things.
I will tell you, my dad was in the hospital for an extended period of time and he's out now and feeling much better. But I had to spend the night there a couple of times. And coming out of a hospital after spending the night there is the worst feeling in the world. You can't sleep in a hospital, particularly if you're 6'5". And I walked out and I went to the deli across the street, don't know it or anything. And I got a bacon, egg, and cheese, just salt, no pepper, no ketchup, no anything like that. And it just made everything okay. Like I kind of forgot my dad was sick, like the whole deal. I was like, this is what it's all fucking about.
There's comfort in that bite of those layers of things.
I don't get that with a chopped cheese.
No.
I don't know if I get that with a slice. I don't know if I get that with maybe with a pastrami sandwich.
I would say a slice is like a second, like a close second. I think like if I'm traveling a lot for food and I come home, like I want a slice from like my neighborhood spot. And I think there's a Band-Aid on that. But I think it's just me. Like it's a welcome mat from being home more than the bacon, egg, and cheese is kind of like that thing, that hug that you need during different, I don't know, periods of your life. I tried to make a point before and I didn't make a good one, but the way that you make your food beautiful, right? Like honestly, like this food is very, very appealing to me. Also in the way that you present it on the menu, do you think more people really want to, I don't know, get into the fish or do they just want to order fish in a cage? Like that's a very catchy, like I want to, oh, you went there? Did you get the fish in the cage? Like it's kind of, I don't know what a fish in a cage is. Oh, what the fuck did he say to fish in the Like, do you feel like you need to do that at least in some parts with something, you know? I felt like Shukette being the whore.
What's a fish in a cage first?
Right.
How do you prepare it?
It's 1.5 pound porgy that's like, has like a tomato harissa spicy, not spicy as in hot, but spicy like in layers of dimension. Marinate on it. There's lemons and herbs in the belly of it. And then it's put in like one of those cages that you grill on so that it doesn't stick.
Right.
And then we finish it with a grilled scallion and seasonal vegetables and 2 different types of sauces that you could slather your fish in. I think that Shukette was kind of the restaurant, like it's the restaurant that if I closed my eyes like 5 years ago and you were like, what do you want your perfect restaurant to be for you? It was that.
Really?
The counter seating. You know, I always say that like at dinner and a show, we fade it in and out as you want. It's so loud. It's obnoxious at times.
Right.
There's like the screaming of the food, the service. It's like the food comes at you as it's ready. So it's not like coursed. It's like this rip and dip thing. I tell people to throw their forks and knives on the ground and just swipe their bread through every single thing possible. And I think like, when you have a vision for a restaurant, everything has to match, right? The branding has to be the same. So if you're going to do that, you have to have some names on the menu that are going to make people think. It's like when I first opened the restaurant, a week late, like we were selling no hummus the first week. And I happen to think that the hummus at Shukette is like one of the best hummuses out there. And I was like, what am I going to do to make this hummus sell? And I was like, it's not your average hummus. So I named it that.
Right.
It's the highest selling dish that we have besides the Frenna, which is the bread that you're not having
today. And that's what made the difference.
Yeah.
Which I think is brilliant.
Some of the things. And you know what? We have a dish on the menu right now called the Pea Party. Everybody loves it. They want to say Pea Party.
Right. Yeah, that's the whole deal. Yeah.
Right. So Pea Party is much better than spring pea salad.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, so I'm going to have a pea party, a fish in a cage, and not your average hummus.
Exactly.
And then go home. That's kind of fucking brilliant. Dessert wise, what's your dessert game like at your restaurant and you personally? Because I find like a lot of chefs sometimes concentrate so much on the main dish. The pastry chef and the dessert chef sort of operate in a different plane. So like I cook, I don't bake because I like to cook. I don't like science. Are you the same way? Are you like, where are you as far as desserts go?
I'm freewheeling when it comes to cooking. I feel like you could be as venturous as you want and you're in control the whole time. When you're baking is 100% science and there's rules that I'm not interested in following. I don't really much have a sweet tooth, but there are a few things that I do love, and one of them is ice cream. And soft serve from the vanilla soft serve from a truck with chocolate sprinkles. Find it better. I'll fight you. So when I opened up Shukette, like I didn't want to deal with the restaurant was small, first of all, and I didn't want to deal with the whole coming up with desserts that I didn't think that I was going to be 100% standing behind, because every single item on that opening menu, I felt very strongly about. So I was like, how do I do soft serve? So I wanted to do lebne with like the magic shell. And then I realized that like, if we're going to have one dessert, I have to appeal to the masses. So I changed it to tahini ice cream, which is made with oat milk. So if you have a dairy allergy, you can have it. And it's called the mic drop, because a mic drop is the end, right? Nothing's better than a mic drop. So that's why I named it that. So it's tahini soft serve that has, it's drizzled with pomegranate molasses. So it gives you that tart punchiness. And then it's got like crushed hazelnuts smacked all over it. And then fresh pomegranate seeds when they're in season. And on the top of it has halva floss. So it looks like Don King's hair.
Okay, that's perfect. There actually, there was like some pubic hair, croissant. I don't know if you'd seen that. It was going viral there. And I say would for everything. I would try everything, but I'm kind of pulling away on the pubic hair thing. Too. It's like it looked like the floor of a barbershop. Yeah. So the falafel that you have is crazy delicious. And I don't eat falafel without dragging it through something. And I'm not going to drag this through anything. Everything has been fantastic. Is there a different experience that you're going to get between Shuka and Shukette?
100%. I think that at Shuka is great for large groups. We have something called the Feast, where you don't even have to think about ordering. The food just comes to your table. We have a full bar there. So we have cocktails, we have beers, we have a frozen limonana, which I think is amazing. It's like a frozen lemonade that's spiked with mint and vodka. It's a fun atmosphere. The music is more Middle Eastern. It gets you kind of moving. You kind of feel like you're in somewhere in the Mediterranean where you should be waving your napkin around your head.
Right.
Shukette is like going to, I don't know, like one of those boozy brunches. Like it's just a wild place when you walk in. I always say when you walk into Shukette, you're like, whose party is this? And why wasn't I invited?
Right.
And when you leave, you're like, that was my fucking party.
Yeah.
You know? So it can change your mood in a nanosecond. I think it's more counter seating. It's better for 4 people, 2 people. We don't have a lot of large tables there. And the counter is like where it's at. Like if you come to Shukette for the first time, you should sit at the counter. You should see how the food is prepared. You'll watch all the fish go into the cage, get charred, get served on the board. It's just a fun experience. And I think the music at Shukette, I don't know if you know this, but if I wasn't going to be a chef, I really wanted to be a DJ.
I didn't know that.
And the playlist at Shukette is like the playlist of my life. It's like 90s hip hop. It's dance music. It's freestyle. It's like all the genres of music that make me happy get played there. So when I walk in there, like I always feel like it's a good time.
Do you find that people love it, or do you find that people tolerate it because it's your type of music? I mean, I love it. We happen to be simpatico here, but I mean, some people are like, can you turn that shit down?
I'd say it's 90-10. I think there's 90% of people that come in there and love it. Their shoulders are shrugging. They're between 35 and 60 and they're like, I know these songs.
Right.
And then there's the few that are like, the music is so loud, like that it ruins the dining experience. And I'm okay with that.
John's roast beef, new ownership, still good?
It's okay.
Okay.
The gravy's got a little different to it.
Okay.
Leone's still generous. Good sandwiches, great bread. Mozzarella's outstanding.
Yeah, it's off the charts. Place I went to for the first time ever. Never been to it before in my life. I went to Pasta Fresca the other day.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if you're familiar with them, but they're doing savory schfuyadels now.
Oh, I've heard of it.
Yeah, so it has like the chopped broccoli rabe and sausage.
Good?
It's, by the way, the guy who works there, who's sort of front of house or whatever behind the counter, is just a lovely type of guy you want to kiss on the mouth. But these things are very, very good. It's a welcome, and I love schfuyadel. Yeah. Honest to God.
Up there with the Italian pastries.
And you take one of these, all of a sudden you bite into it, and it's sausage and peppers. It's just a different thing for me, and I don't hate it because you're talking about, the fusion stuff, and I can understand what you're saying because sometimes I do want something that doesn't have gochujang in it, right? Like, but when they combine Italian stuff into one thing, man, I thought that it was kind of magical.
Yeah, I'm going to try that.
Yeah, definitely.
If they have sausage and broccoli rabe, that would be right up my alley.
That's what they do. So they do sausage and broccoli rabe. They do around Easter, they do that pizza rustica in there. Come on.
That's got to be banging.
Sausage and peppers.
And that's the best part because the crust is all the way around. It's crunchy in every part.
Yeah, because laminated dough and stuff. So there's like a crack to it. I'm telling you right now, it was absolutely elite. Brooklyn.
Yes.
So where you are in Brooklyn is not where a lot of people think when they think Brooklyn. Like I know a lot of people like, oh yeah, I'm from Brooklyn. I'm like, oh yeah? They're like, yeah, I moved into Dumbo 3 years ago. I'm like, oh, but you never chipped in for batteries or had a brush in your back pocket. They're like, no, it's not Brooklyn. How do you see Brooklyn from when you'd grown up to now? You got the bamboo earrings on, by the way.
Yeah,
you got the hoops on. I'm sure that you took the. Yeah, I love them.
What do I think? I think that where I live, there's nostalgia everywhere I turn because I remember the first game of spades that I played.
Right.
I remember when you go into the park where you were going to smoke or hanging out, right?
Yeah.
Riding my bike home from school or like to one of my friends' houses. Has it changed? Yeah, 100%. There are other places in Brooklyn that are fancier and nicer in different ways that maybe have like 6 restaurants on each block.
Yeah.
But just not where I live.
Right.
But I appreciate that it's there.
I'm going to let you go right now, but first I'm going to end with the questions that I always end with. But her debut cookbook, why did it take so long to write a cookbook? How lazy are you that you've been at this for such a long time? I almost wrote a cookbook. Why did it take you so long to get a cookbook out there?
I think that after I opened up Shukette, a lot of who you are is reminiscent of what you've learned through all of your mentors, right? Through cooking. And when I opened up Shukette, were there influences from technique maybe or from something? But in that moment, it was me and only me. I wasn't doing something the way Lydia did it or the way Missy did it or the way Terrence taught me. Like this was me the way it was. Mm-hmm. And I realized at that point, like I almost like came into my own chefdom because there's a point that you have to have a culinary point of view. It might be unique to your own, or it might be something that like Korean food is not a unique point of view. It is what it is. Italian food, the same thing, or whatever. Vietnamese. That being said, I felt like I cook Mediterranean food through my own lens. So you can come there and be from any part of the Mediterranean and find dishes that you think of that, but that's not a dish that you'll find anywhere else.
No.
Absolutely. And my falafel is delicious, but there are people that make better or different or whatever, but there's something about that falafel that's crunchy, very vibrant. It's got like the layers of spice the way that I like it. And what I serve it with is a spicy tahini and carrots. So I just think like I had something to say and I wanted to put it down on paper. But more importantly, I wanted to put it down on paper for people to recreate it.
Okay.
You see, these aren't easy dishes to make at home. They might look easy because they're in these packages and like you're getting that one bite, but it takes so many people to put this together. Every recipe in that book is like 10 or less ingredients, could be made a la minute. It's vibrant. If you turn it around, you can see that gorgeous picture.
That's a great picture.
But you could see that stuff, like all of this stuff is stuff that you want to cook at home. And I think for 20 years, I really never cooked at home. And the best cook ever is the person that makes dinner every single night.
Yeah.
That's the hardest job.
Yeah, no, I
agree. And I wanted people to dog-ear this book, have it filled with sumac and olive oil and thumbprints, and you could recreate all of these recipes like in real time.
By the way, and so it's coming out on October 20th, Mediterranean all the way. You can pre-order it right now, Ayesha Nurdjaja. I had gotten a random envelope when I get in here today. It's from Gravidoni's Pizza. Maybe it's Gravidoni's Pizza. Gravidoni's probably, right?
Yeah.
Have you ever heard of Khadiji?
No.
I didn't know about it either. And I think this gentleman, he reached out to me first saying if he could send it out because I love regional dishes. Okay. So it's Khadiji, I guess it's Upper Peninsula, Minnesota. No, excuse me, Michigan. I apologize. And you just mix it with like ground pork and you're essentially making like whatever the
sandwich.
Yeah. And so then they kind of flatten it out. They make it almost into like a burger patty and then with a little bit of something. I love the fact that this, like, I would love, as much as I love international cuisines, I think that there's more of a premium for me in going to the Upper Peninsula and having a Khadiji sandwich and then going across to Wisconsin and having a cannibal platter. Like doing all that stuff turns me on a lot more than actually getting my ass to Tokyo. So it's one of those things. So you had found your lane with Mediterranean, and you had tailored this book to be approachable to people who are cooking at home, and that's the whole idea behind it. And you can pick it up in October. Yeah. On top of that, before you go, so Shuka and Shukette are the two places in New York that you must try. I'll be trying Shukette first, if that's cool with you. You think like that's the way to go. Yeah. And order the fish in a cage, but it's not a fucking Smashing Pumpkins song. It's just a delicious porgy, which I kind of love. Here's the questions. You ready?
I'm ready.
How do you take your eggs? At the diner on Coney Island Avenue with me at 2:00 in the morning.
I am doing bacon, egg, and cheese, eggs over medium, salt and pepper on a toasted English muffin, American cheese, melted on each side.
And a well-done toasted English muffin is possibly one of the greatest vehicles. I made a Scotch egg last month for the sandwich of the month, and I put it on an English muffin with some pickled red onions. Oof, it was fucking fantastic. How do you take steak?
Depending on the cut, medium rare mostly, but there are steaks like skirt steak. I like a medium. If the ribeye is more than 16 ounces, it's probably leaning towards the medium side. I think the fat has to melt in order for the meat to be really delicious. But if it's a burger, medium rare.
And I think that that's the correct answer. But with somebody like you, when would you go extremely rare? Like lower than medium rare, closer to blue, that type of thing. Is there anything?
If it's a thin fillet.
Thin fillet.
Yeah,
okay.
But I'm not really like into the fillet unless it's tartare. Then I'm 100%.
Alex put me on my heels. Oh, what's your favorite cut of meat? She's like filet mignon. I was like, son of a bitch, because I'm so anti-filet, but I had to like sort of pretend I wasn't. What's your go-to fast order, either drunk or sober?
Fast food, drunk or sober? I would have to say diner food.
Okay,
that's my fast food, and I would say that it's a cheeseburger deluxe, fries well done. Save your tomato and lettuce, but I need raw onion with salt and pepper and maybe a smear, because I hate ketchup, but I think that I need it just to like put the layers together.
Just a little bit of glue. I agree with you 100%. By the way, a diner cheeseburger deluxe growing up, it's very difficult, and you know, because you get a little bit of French fries and a little bit of onion rings on it, the relish tray with the paper cup filled with coleslaw, they all kind of look the same. And it's something that I just want to get back to. That's why I'm not a huge smash burger guy.
Yeah, I mean,
I love and if you don't want the big pub burger, I get it. You know, I do like a big fat fucking Minetta Tavern, but man, it's that in between thing. And I don't do this too often because I'm Irish. It's absolutely perfect for me. Do you remember the Foursome Center?
No.
On Avenue U? So many of the diners had gone away.
Yeah.
Like, I think like that's what needs to come back to be personal for you. If you could recommend one restaurant anywhere in the world, and it can't be Shuka or Shukette, what would it be for me? And we don't know each other that well.
Right.
But if you're like, Large, you got to get your ass to this one. This is going to be bulletproof. Give me one restaurant that you'd recommend.
Damn. Give me a cuisine.
I would say the cuisine would be North African. I have whatever. No, let's get away from.
We can't say Michael's because people already know that we like that place.
Yeah.
You know what I think is super dope? Sal Tang's.
Don't know it.
It's a Chinese food. Sal, who owns Bar Fernando right now, Cafe Spaghetti. He has a Chinese restaurant on Hicks and. I don't know, maybe DeGraw. Okay. It's called Sal Tang's. His egg roll is like OG old school egg roll done the right way, hand wrapped, in duck sauce. And the rest of his Chinese food is fire. He's an Italian kid making Chinese food. I think his partner's Chinese, but like they are slinging out like the old school Chinese, like when the white rice comes on the side, and then you get steak and peppers, whatever, or you get like the Chinese food is off the chains.
Would you agree with me that Chinese food is now finally being recognized as one of the better large format meals? I used to think that if we were planning a wedding shower, you'd have everyone go to some place, maybe like an Italian place, where you start with an overdressed salad, overcooked pasta, then you go into the thing and everyone has tiramisu and goes home. You put me at a table of 12 with a gigantic lazy Susan in the middle where I'm like sort of mixing it up like fucking DJ Red Alert.
I already like my hands are standing up like that. That is where I want to be. When you're like a young cook, like you want to attach yourself to an Asian person that can take you there, because first of all, you can't order.
Yes.
Right? They have to order.
Yes.
And then you sit there and you shut your mouth and you open your chopsticks if you know how to do it. and you drink that hot ass tea and you're like, yes, yes, and yes, give me the eyeballs. I'm 100% in.
Do you order for the table a lot?
All the time.
Is it because people ask you to, or is it because you don't trust anybody else?
People ask me to because, first of all, I'm known to order the left side of the menu. Like, don't go by me because I'm an over orderer. And like when I go somewhere, I want to try all these things. Yes. And I usually go out with a big group. But everybody always says that I'm like, just let her do it because they'll order and I'll be like, oh, can you add on the thing? So they're like, fuck it, you do it.
Right. Would you say that if we were going out to eat, and we kind of know each other now.
Yeah.
Would you ever order the same entree as me?
Never.
If it was just
not in a million years.
And would you feel bad because I am going to try a little bit of yours? So we're actually ordering. I usually do 3 for 2. I'll order 3 entrees between the two of us or something like that. Yeah.
That's the math is mathin'.
Right. I hate that people skeeve sharing stuff now. I don't know what we've become.
I could understand like if you don't know someone and they're like licking their thing and then put it in your situation. But like hopefully if you're first of all, when you're over 40, you can't be going out to dinner with strangers because people don't know how to act.
Yes.
When the bill comes, they're like, oh, I had this. I'm like, excuse me, I pay for it and I'll never talk to you again. So you have to be like, you know what I mean?
It's the best $500 you ever spent.
In the world, bro. You made and lost a friend simultaneously. Yeah. I mean, you lost a fucking pain in the ass. That's what I mean.
You got a free meal.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, we're very simpatico as far as that goes. So you wrote it down. It's not Chino Latino. That's real deal, just old school Chinese.
Yes.
All right, I'm going to go.
Every restaurant that gets mentioned in this conversation has been written down.
Yeah. All right, good.
Because Ian just moved to East Village.
Okay.
And he is running out of money because he's going to a new place every night. And by the way, he was dino nuggets and fucking glasses of milk and grilled cheeses, nothing else.
I love the grilled cheese though.
Since he started working, his palate has opened up like you fucking read about. Wouldn't you say? Or yeah. Definitely. And who would you give all the credit to? Me. Yeah. Okay. You weren't going to, you son of a bitch.
I think though, like it's an investment in you, right? Yeah. Like you're so much more attractive to another person like that you're like investing in your palate. Yeah. I think it's something amazing.
Yeah, it always impresses me too. Yeah. What meal do you wish you can get back? The person who made it for you is no longer with us. The restaurant has since closed, or maybe your taste buds have just changed.
The potato and egg hero from Monty's on Avenue O.
I remember Monty's.
Yeah. The old lady used to make it in the back in a Teflon, saute pan with olive oil. She used to look at you when you ordered it. She cut it with a small paring knife, put it on the bread. She would squish it down, and she would take a scoop of the extra virgin olive oil that she cooked it in and drizzle it on the bread, wrap it up in the white paper, and used to carry that thing out like it was your firstborn bearing your first and last name.
Yeah. Potato and egg is such a slept on classic.
Yeah.
I mean, I got it at DeFonte's the other day and I said, could you just do me a favor, take a little bit of steak pizza oil sauce and just run it across the top? The guy's like, absolutely, you genius. It is so fucking slept on. Do you remember Two Toms?
Yes.
I miss Two Toms. Like I'm just thinking about it because I'm enjoying talking to you in case you haven't noticed. But it's one of those things like I miss Two Toms, I think, more than almost any other restaurant in Brooklyn. And stripped down, paneled walls, folding tables, go get your ice cold carafe of homemade red, which is just in the jug in the back.
Bro,
man, I'm trying to get that again.
Color Rossi container.
Oh, it's fucking fantastic. What's a Tim Duncan of foods for you? Not flashy, but delivers.
Ooh.
Like when I go to a fancy restaurant, I am sometimes shocked when somebody who's got a huge palate or something says, you know what? I'm doing the Cobb salad. Like, you know, you almost expect people in your position to always say that you're going to do something bigger. So what's that one thing? Not a guilty pleasure, but just something that just delivers.
I think a good grilled cheese.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think on good bread, maybe 2 or 3. Listen, if it's only one cheese, it has to be American. But if you could splurge a little bit and it's 2 or 3 different kind of cheese, you throw a cheddar in there, maybe a Gouda. And like, I mean, I have never done it with mayo and I'm not opposed to it. But to me, I'm a butter girl. Butter inside, outside, low heat, get it melted, never goes in the oven. And it's that shattering, crispy, buttery top. And then that doesn't have to have a cheese pull, but the cheese has to be melted. Yeah. I think that slaps every single time.
It's unbelievable how many people choose grilled cheeses. Grilled cheeses.
That's like 3 in a row.
It is. It is like 3 in a row. I'm kind of disappointed because he loves grilled cheeses and I don't like him. All right. Now, finally, you're going to be put to death tomorrow. I don't know what you did, but I'm assuming it's like a rage crime because you seem like you're very protective of your family and whatnot. Yeah. So somebody had said something off color to your mom and you beat him to death with your own hands. Yeah. Tomorrow's the day I rap on the bars. I say, what do you want tonight? inmate 33666. And what's going to be your last meal?
Okay, so we are going to start with a French baguette proper that has like the little, like, you know how the mustache twirls at the end? Salted French butter. Like when you open it, it's sweating already because you can see the crystals of like Maldon or like gray salt in it. And you eat that.
Don't refrigerate your butter, by the way.
No, that's
stop,
a terrible
Stop
habit.
refrigerating your fucking butter. Honestly,
well, only if you're not going to use it for a long time, though. You know what I mean?
But if you're not going to use it for a long time, then stop living, right? Like just eat a lot of butter, leave it out so it's always fucking soft. I buy a log of fucking Amish butter. I hit it with sea salt on top. I leave it up there and I go through it purposely because I love it so goddamn much. Stop refrigerating your butter.
That's a good
It's a terrible idea. I don't know if it's like growing bacteria and all that stuff that's going to eventually kill me, but I'm having a fantastic time. So we're starting with French butter, French sweet cream butter with sea salt on it, the type of baguette that comes to that weird end to it, where it can almost be fashioned into a shiv. What else?
Right. And then you could shank somebody.
Yeah.
Then we're going to the champagne because we need something to drink, right? We need a Blanc de Blanc. I'm not going to name a house right now because it's just irrelevant. And then we are going to call my mother and have her make, from the Feast of the Seven Fish, she does angel hair pasta with a calamari arrabbiata sauce that has torn basil on top. The calamari is stewed in tomato sauce for like 45 minutes, so it's nice and very soft. This dish has zero texture, which is against my grain, but it's that one bite that's swirled on a fork that I could eat and die and be happy.
Okay.
And then I think we need a surf serve cone. Like the guy's got to come. He might have pissed in the bucket or not. We don't even give a fuck.
Yeah.
Vanilla ice cream on the cone with the chocolate sprinkles. And then
vanilla ice cream, chocolate sprinkles, soft serve.
Yes.
So you're on death row. You're about to, because you beat this person to death brutally, by the way. Yeah, it wasn't a good headline for you. And then all of a sudden, outside the prison, you hear the Mr. Softy thing.
Right.
They're like, oh, Aisha's going tomorrow.
She's the hours are dwindling down for her.
Right.
And then I ask for a cigar. The fat, dark, bad boy.
Right.
And I get to finish the next of the bottle of champagne with that. And I just could lament on the beautiful life that I've had. And that fucker that said something about my mother ruined it for me.
Are you happy right now?
I am.
As happy as you've ever been?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah. I think we've all been in a place where we're like on our feet and the old 10 toes are on the ground. And then sometimes it's only 9 and you're still okay. And sometimes it's 2. And then you're like, I got to switch things up. But I think I got like 2 feet on the ground, 10 toes, and I'm feeling good.
It's fantastic. Listen, I don't have a tremendous amount of regrets in my life. Honestly, I don't. I regret that we're not smoking a cigar right now.
Yeah.
Like my only problem with it is I would probably have a like decidedly milder looking one than you.
That's okay.
Which is emasculating, but I don't give a shit. I don't play by those fucking
rules. It's a choice
rules.
of taste.
Yeah.
But medium rare.
I would like to go to a cigar shop with you at some point. I'd like to go to Michael's with you at some point. I would like to go to L&B with you at some point, like the whole deal. And I think the point of having this conversation is that this woman knows her shit. So make sure that you guys, when you're looking to go out in the city and you're looking to have a fucking great time, why not want to rip and dip? I can tell you firsthand that the food that she brought was delicious. Maybe the fish in the cage is sketch. I don't know. You're going to have to fucking find out by yourself. But either way, it's Ayesha. Listen, please come back whenever you want and let's do a video or something together.
Really, honestly.
Yeah.
And I think our first date should be you come to Shukette for dinner. I'll cook for you on the pass, and then we leave there.
Can I bring a camera guy?
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll leave there, and we'll go to a cigar place downtown that I know. I'll bring the cigars, and then we'll smoke.
Okay. You bring a cigar for me. I'm going to bring a cigar for you. Not to smoke that day.
Okay.
For another thing. Right. No, because you're going to bring one for me to smoke. I'm going to get you one to smoke, another time.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a date.
All right.
All right. So thank you so much for coming on. This is You Got to Try This, and we'll be right back. All right, Ian. So that was it. I could have went longer. Honestly, she didn't have a hard out or anything, but as usual, it started to get steamy in this fucking place. And she brought so many like fragrant foods. I felt almost bad having her here, but otherwise I am going to go to a restaurant with her. I'm going to smoke a cigar with her. Unless she's totally full of shit and cuts me out of her life immediately, which I don't think she will. I thoroughly enjoyed it. You know who I'm going to have on in a couple of weeks? Robbie Fox. I spoke to Foxy the other day. He sent me another like restaurant that he went to. He texted me like, did you go to this place? You ever go to this place? And most of the times I did go to him, but I was like, Robbie, you're loving restaurants so much. You want to come on? He's like, yeah, I like Robbie. So I'm looking forward to that.
That's good because we haven't had a Barstool person in a minute. And we did get a comment from Tyler Billick about he might be in the minority on this, but he actually prefers the Barstool guests to the food guests.
Perfect. All right. Yeah. So Robbie's coming up, and Stu Feiner Part 2 is also on the horizon. And so if you wanted something with a real feel for Barstool, then Stu Feiner is the only way to go. Anything else we have to touch upon before we get the hell out of here? Ooh, I saw a history tidbit. You mind if I give it to you? Remember we were talking about the Mother Mole in Mexico City?
Which time did we talk about?
Yeah, I know.
That gets brought up every fucking...
But do you remember how old it was? Do you remember it was like 3,000 days?
3,700 days, I believe. Almost 10 years, I want to think.
Yeah. Tootsie Rolls. You a Tootsie Roll guy?
Nah.
Neither am I. I mean, I don't mind them in a pinch, like if they're in a candy dish at a doctor's office, maybe?
Isn't that like a chocolate Jolly Rancher?
Well, no, it's softer. It's almost like a chocolate taffy. More so, I would say it's close to that. But either way, I've been having them since I'm a kid. Tootsie Rolls recipe, like you were saying how the Mother Mole was 10 years old. Tootsie Rolls recipe is from 1896. I just did the math on that. 1896 to 1996, being 130 years old. It's 130 years old. And it requires that a batch of the previous day be incorporated into the new batch, which means that each piece of Tootsie Roll that you put in your mouth has a trace amount of the original from 1896. That is impressive. So Mother Mole, shove it right up your ass. If you think 10 years is going to impress me, 130 years, Tootsie Roll has been keeping a little bit, put it into new batch. So again, it's minuscule, not on an atomic level, but it's very minuscule. You're eating part of a Tootsie Roll from 1896 every time you pop one of those bastards. I love that fact, so I just wanted to share it with you guys. Anything else?
You brought up Barstool, and we've been sort of doing this at the end of each show, which I think is good, is just running through the Barstool universe of food takes, of things that have been going on, as we are the arbiters of food in the Barstool universe. Mm-hmm. This was a little before the 4th of July. I wish we got to bring it up before, but I'll still bring it up now. Making your own French fries at home.
What are y'all talking about? Making homemade French fries is one of the best things a man can do. It's one of the great thrills of my life.
Ooh. You don't have a deep fryer, do you?
Y'all don't make homemade French fries? Y'all don't cut up potatoes and make homemade French fries? Is the best fucking thing you can make at home.
No.
That seems like a food that's better just from the local joint.
What are you pieces of shit talking about?
I don't know.
How are you making fries?
You slice the potatoes and you throw them in the grease and then they brown up and then, oh my God, a little bit of
Where's
salt.
the grease? What grease?
I just see some oil in a pot, oil in a pan.
Oh,
or you can do a deep fryer. I don't have a deep fryer here. I have one at home in Mississippi. I have an old catfish deep fryer. But like, what?
Okay.
Brandon Walker was catching a lot of flack for making his own French fries at home, saying it was like the biggest fat guy move of all time.
Really?
But the comments are all defending him like this is what grown adults do.
Yeah.
You can make fries at home. And I don't know if I ever asked you about if you make what you do for your fries at home.
So we used to do something once a week when we had all 3 kids at home. They were younger before everyone started to go to the Winds and had, different plans every night. Every Friday was our Friday. I bust out the deep fryer. And so I would do French fries at home, homemade, hand-cut French fries, and anything else. I mean, I was rolling around green olives, stuffing green olives, rolling them in flour, egg wash, and panko. I was frying olives, wings, whatever the hell we did. So inevitably, we were doing a lot of fries on Friday weekly. I like it. Like, I think... To your point, if the comment section is saying that everybody poo-pooed it, one, because people like to go against Brandon, right? It's just more fun to be on the other side of Brandon than to be simpatico with him. And two...
Oh, no, the comments were defending Brandon. Sorry.
Oh, were they? Okay.
Because the yak...
No. I'm saying I think the guys on the yak came at him.
Yes.
And I think it's kind of easier to make him defend himself because Brandon gets very charismatic. Right? More charismatic than normal. This is me giving Brandon a lot of fucking compliments. I wonder if he does that to me on Mostly Sports.
Another guy we should have on the show.
Yeah. Do you know when Brandon first started in this company, I had the goofy haircut? Remember he sort of had like the weird haircut?
The goofiest.
Yeah. And he came up from the South. So I was like, I'm going to show you some New York barbecue. And I did a segment with him for a thing I used to called Extra Large, where I took him to his first Korean barbecue, like his first week here. A lovely meal. I should dig that up. But otherwise, yeah, I'll get Brandon on the show. So to my point, I think it's easier to kind of rile him up and tell him it's a bad idea, but everyone knows in their heart of hearts, as long as you do it well, it's a great fucking idea. Honestly, it's a great idea. And work on it a little bit. Like now I have people boiling their French fries a little bit beforehand, beating them up so they have something. The double fry is always a great, thing to do. And I find it to be no different than making a really good fucking baked potato or something like that. If you have the fryer out, if you have some hot oil and you own a potato or 10, then yeah, make your own fucking French fries. I don't think that's... Yeah, that's easy. Easy peasy.
We're all Team Brandon here.
We're Team Brandon Walker. Maybe for the first time in my life. No, that's not true at all. So Team Brandon. What else you got?
Next up, KB and Nick were talking with the Wonton Don, and I actually didn't finish this clip because I didn't want my answer to be like ruined or spoiled by watching what they said.
Okay.
They were asking the question of... And also, if you haven't seen it, you were on the main page doing like a bracket ranking of all these American foods.
Okay.
For foreign people to try.
Correct, yeah.
This sort of falls in line with that. What are the top 3 sandwiches in America?
Wow. So KB and
Nick and the Wonton Don.
Those 3 guys collectively, they do Rediscovering America, I believe. That's their thing. KB and Nick are uber funny, and me and Don have a history. We had guinea pig together in Queens. The quintessential, so they mean from like a joint, like where I would get it too?
No, so I think where you're going with the bacon, egg, and cheese, that would probably be one of your top 3
Yeah, because I was wondering if it'd be like an oyster po' boy from like a special place.
This is more just the type of sandwich, not necessarily the place you're going to.
And it's American.
It's America.
Yeah, like so you have to think that throws away things like banh mi.
Yes.
Right? Like stuff like that. But it doesn't throw away the po' boy. Like the po' boy is something that I think is extreme. So a fried oyster po' boy, a fried oyster po' boy in New Orleans. You figure out which one you like the best, which remoulade you like the best, which hot sauce you like the best. That soft bread from like Domelices, I believe. But I think that's something that's quintessential United States as far as a sandwich goes. I'm tempted to mention the Italian beef just because it's definitely a United States thing, but I'm sort of going to go, when I go beef sandwich, I'll have to maybe just do one because you have your North Shore beef, which is, I love those. You got your pit beef in Baltimore. I love those. You got your cheesesteak. Fuck. Then you have your Italian beef. Then you have your hot roast beef from mozzarella with the brown gravy from Fiore's. Man, then you have like your Rico Bene's fucking fried steak sandwich. Well, I'm looking at beef now for some reason, and I'm thinking, is there one that's more American than the other? And it's got to be the Philly cheesesteak. It does. I don't know if it's my favorite out of all those, but if you're saying, the most American sandwich, I'll go fried oyster po' boy in New Orleans, a Philly cheesesteak at Del Rossi's is one that I like, but everyone likes Angelo's in Philly. And then the third one, you'd think I would go something like bacon, egg, and cheese in New York because I love a bacon, egg, and cheese in New York. I was just speaking about it. But there's got to be something that's also just so goddamn U.S. It's definitely not a chopped cheese, not a lobster roll necessarily. It all makes sense. Yeah, I'm going to go bacon, egg, and cheese in a New York bodega that has a bodega cat. So yeah, those are my 3. Bacon, egg, and cheese in New York, po' boy in New Orleans, and a cheesesteak in Philly. I'm very, very, it's like I'm almost pretending that the West does not exist. But there's so much fusion in the West. To whereas if I say the Hatch chili cheeseburger in New Mexico, it sort of does play off of a Mexican sandwich, like a version of it. But I don't think a bacon, egg, and cheese, the way that they even do it in England is just different. They use the back bacon and shit like that. So those are my answers.
I'll go grilled cheese number 1.
Oh, Jesus.
No surprise there. Bacon, egg, and cheese number 2.
Mm-hmm.
That's definitely up there. And then number 3, I'm going to go with the meatball sub, like a meatball.
Because they don't do meatball subs in Italy?
I don't know.
I don't know. Like, I mean, you hear about this stuff. I haven't spent enough time there to know. Like, people be like, "Oh, you got to say the chicken parm."
I'm just naming my personal 3 favorite sandwiches.
I know, like that's the whole thing too, and it's almost easier for me to try to paint in broader strokes and be American with it. Because if you want my favorite sandwiches from everywhere, then all of a sudden I'm like, come with me to Matu in Los Angeles, and we'll get the cheesesteak out there with the long hot.
Maybe we have a series like sandwiches in states, and find the best sandwich in each state.
I'd be down. I'd be willing to quit my job and do that.
The state of sandwiches.
The state of sandwiches. The United State of sandwiches.
There you go.
Yeah. I don't mind it. What else we got?
Last thing, a very famous wedding happened over the 4th of July break.
Oh yeah.
Shutting down not a lot of, but most of Midtown Manhattan, I would imagine, for people.
Oh yeah.
Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce got married at Madison Square Garden. And there were people outside, like the barricades, like waiting just to catch a peek of someone or something. And the catering company that did the desserts for the wedding actually had leftovers and brought out the Taylor Swift wedding leftover desserts to like these people in the crowd.
I want to feel some way about Taylor Swift and Jason Kelce. No, Travis.
I got it right.
Who was it?
Travis
Kelce. I want to feel some way about them. I am just devoid of feeling. Honestly, they just don't matter to me. But I know that they are quintessential to a lot of people, even in this office, but certainly a lot of people who are fans all around the world, either of the NFL or of her music. I didn't give a shit about this fucking wedding, any of the details, any of the guest list, but I had seen that it was such a topic of conversation. This is the first time that I'm looking actually at a story beyond the headline. I love this story. We used to have to wait in line for season tickets when I was in college. I went to Notre Dame. So you'd have to wait out all night at the JACC, the Joyce Athletic Convocation Center, when they opened up the ticket thing. The reason you did that is because if you wanted to sit, you always were guaranteed one seat in the student section. But if you wanted to sit with like 12 of your buddies, you'd have to wait in line together so you can get like a block of tickets. So you'd get out there sometime, you start drinking at, 8 or 9 o'clock, you pass out around 1 or 2, you'd get up at like 6 and the ticket office would open at 7. Lou Holtz was the coach at the time. And him and his staff would just wheel out these big, like tiered trays filled with donuts and came by us all and just gave us all donuts, like the coaching staff. And I was like, man, this is a class act. Giving somebody a sweet treat on the go. I talk to you about it all the time. When I was at a Venetian hour at an Italian wedding, and then I left, they gave us all a copy of the New York Times and a half a dozen bagels with cream cheese for us to go on the way. I know it's not necessarily a sweet treat, but it's a baked good. And I just think that that's such a maybe classy, but like a very delicious, and I'm talking about spiritually delicious way to kind of make people happy when they're waiting outside, either to get a glimpse of you, a picture, an autograph, a football ticket, whatever the fuck it is. Give me a couple of pastries and it's going to make it a lot more palatable. So points to Taylor Swift.
I lied.
Sorry.
I have one more story.
Go.
And it's about the World Cup.
Mm-hmm.
And I know you're going to like this, I think.
Sure.
Because it resulted in someone who was Uber Eatsing, not getting their food. And maybe they'll be less inclined to Uber Eats in the future. Because the crowds that have been gathering for some of these watch parties in the World Cup, they're just insane. So if you're in a city where they're having a watch party, I mean, you shouldn't be ordering Uber Eats anyways. We've been over the reasons for that.
I know.
But especially now.
Yeah, I mean, I saw what you had sent me with this clip. This guy is in the middle of a Norway fan thing when they're trying to row the boat, and he's just kind of stuck there trying to get his whatever movie theater popcorn to your apartment. And tough shit, right? Don't be fucking lazy. Or how about this? I got an idea. Cook something. Go and get Ayesha's cookbook. Go and run out and get Mediterranean all the way and cook something. Particularly when you see this. Like, I know when it's raining out, people are like, oh, I'm definitely Uber Eats and I don't want to get wet. What a scumbag fucking move. Like, and if you don't give the guy a huge tip, you're going to light the guy up with a tip, then I kind of understand what you're doing. But there are people who kind of shortchange these delivery drivers. They'll show up to your door soaking wet because they're on their bike trying to deliver you fucking Italian hero. You're going to shortchange him on a tip. Take care of him or else you're a piece of shit. And this guy had his day cut out for him because he's in the middle of 2,000 drunk Norway fans. By the way, I don't care if you're rooting for anybody in this World Cup. That Norway guy is kind of fun to watch. His name is Holland. Man, I don't give a shit about soccer. Honestly, too much flopping and I don't get the offsides thing. Maybe do away with it and I'll come back. Oof, that guy is fucking fun to watch.
When he was in New York for the group stage, he made his way over to Katz's Deli.
Did he go to Katz's?
He posted on his Instagram about it. Yeah.
Oh, really? Yeah.
I'm sure he you can't get anything like that in Norway.
No, I don't believe so. I mean, there's a lot of stuff in Norway that you can't get here either. So it's a reciprocal feeling there. But I don't even know who they play next. Norway, but
England, I think.
Oh, is it Norway, England?
Yeah.
Oh, that's an interesting matchup. That's cool. But again, it's been fun and whatnot. But if you're going to be trying to order food on a heavy congestion time, expect there to be delays and tip your delivery guy heavily. That's how I feel about that. All right, so that's it for us. Again, please send in any kind of questions that you like alongside a 5-star review. Like, follow, subscribe, all that stuff. Thank you so much to Ayesha for spending some time with us, and we'll see you guys next week on You Gotta Try This.